Happy, what's today? Monday. We made it. We made it. Royal C-Dub, no worries, my friend, no worries. I didn't quite realize what was going on with the chat. I just came back and saw the chat going down. I didn't see all the context. I know you were trying to, just having some fun. That's what we're all about here. Learning, growing, having a good time, hanging out. No worries. No worries, my friend. Chat's going down. It's going downtown, baby, gonna drive us crazy. But happy Monday, everybody. Good morning from me to you on this beautiful day, 5 a.m. local time. But wherever you happen in the world, I hope it's a beautiful day for you as well. What do we got going on today? What are we gonna do? What do we do? I hope you're as excited as I am. We're on a new project. New project today, folks. Beautiful new project. Yeah, that's what I didn't quite realize, Real C-Dub. I we were just all excited here, and I didn't know. I missed out. I didn't know what the context was because I came by and the chat was going crazy. No worries, my friend. No worries. That's why you got that VIP status on you. Most people can't send messages more than, I think you have 5 seconds between messages, but you, sir, are a VIP. You, sir, are a VIP, and that's because... Oh, hang on. Royal C-Dub Gaming. Do I have to do the whole thing? There we go. Royal C-Dub Gaming is an aspiring game. I gotta fix that. An aspiring indie game developer, 3D artist, and flight simulator champion. Check out that stream. Let me see if I can fix that real quick. Let me fix that. I got a dumb old typo in there, Royal C-Dub. I'm sorry. Let's find that button. Where's that button now? His stream, gotcha. His stream, let me fix that too. Thank you. Here we go. An aspiring indie game developer. Check out his stream. Perfect, my friend. Let's give it a shot. First try here. Royal C-Dub Gaming. Boom! There you go. Royal C-Dub Gaming is an aspiring indie game developer, 3D artist, and flight simulator champion. If you want me, I can put your YouTube link on there as well, my friend. Ace says, oh, you're doing the same problem as me today, though I'm focusing on a design problem with you. Mine. Gotcha. Ace, welcome back, my friend. Happy Monday. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well wherever you happen to be in the world. It is a beautiful morning for me. I hope it's a beautiful morning, afternoon, or evening wherever you happen to be. Today we are, I got the, Unity 2022. We're going out of long-term support, baby. Hopefully long-term support will come soon for that, but I'm hoping all the horribleness I was getting with the debugger will be over if I'm using 2022. We'll find out. We're gonna find out. Today, what are we doing today though? We finished is a strong word. We wrapped up the procedural generation. Most of my projects, I like to keep them down to a week or two. Most of them tend to be 2 weeks. It's hard to get something done in a week, right? Especially, I stream about 3 hours a day. Last week I was streaming a lot more than 3 hours a day, but 3 hours a day-ish. Royal CW, you can post that link. Go ahead. You're VIP, my friend. You have the power. But we are, what am I saying here? Yeah, I did one project that was like the 20 days, something like that. PG-12 links, yeah. Royal C-Dub's gonna post a link to his YouTube channel. I wanted to get that link so I could add it to the Royal C-Dub command. Perfect, Royal C-Dub Gaming. Thank you so much for that, my friend. Let me add that to your command real quick. Why can't I copy and paste? Why is this so hard? Hang on. Do you believe in me? You gotta believe in me. To make it work. Here we go. Hang on. Hold on. Are you hanging on? Did you got something to hang on to? Are you holding? Are you hanging? Holdity, hanging on. All right, here we go. 1 sec. Gotta click some more buttons. And on YouTube. Boom, there we go. Just for you, Royal C-Dub Gaming. Royal C-Dub Gaming. How's that look, my friend? What do you think of that one? I'm happy to do that for you, because you know what, Royal CW, you've been here for me, and I want to be there for you. I'm really looking forward to checking out when you do. I know you're busy. I know you're busy with school, and but I'm really excited to check out your Blender stream when you decide to do it. Your flight simulation stuff is really, really cool. I'm just, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I think it could be really cool if I understood it a little bit more. Ace says, demo of my current crafting system. Let's see here. Let's go get this. This is, all right, Ace here. He's got a crafting system. Let's see if I can translate this here into a URL. I guess I should open this off. I should get used to the idea of opening links off screen first, right? You never know what someone might send me. Darkman! Yo, my friend, how's it going, my friend? Unicorns, by the way, the countdown ticker was showing no stream today from. Yeah, I know. I was last week or on Friday or something. I made the internal decision that I was going to take Monday and Tuesday off, and then I forgot and got up this morning and decided to stream anyway. So, so earlier, about 50 minutes ago, maybe a little bit more than that, someone said, "Hey, by the way, it says there's no stream today," and I was like, "Oh yeah, I could have slept in." I couldn't have slept in because my body wouldn't let me. McAllen. Awesome. Thank you for sharing this link, Ace. Super cool. Let's see here. This is your crafting system. How do I get to your craft? Down my current crafting system. What do I click? Oh, or is it this video? Here's a Monday screenshot showing off a crafting system. Yeah, I gotta learn how to read. Ace, I'm a simpleton. I'm a programmer, not a reader. Crafting system. I love this font here. This is cool. But also be super portable. So this crafting bowl that goes in your inventory rather than a full bench that has to be actually built. Of course, you hit it with a stick to do the actual crafting. That is awesome. That's funny. It's kind of like blacksmithing, but with a stick. Darkman asks, how is everything going? Beautifully well, my friend. I am fantastic. It's a beautiful Monday. How are you, Unity Coder? That's the real question. Not how's Captain doing. It's how are you doing? Java says that's a nice way of doing crafting. Goes well for survival type games where you need to be on the move. Yeah, I think that's really cool. This is looking awesome. This is in Godot, right, Ash? Thank you for sharing this. Ace, you are a you're tell me, I always forget what you want. I'd love to, I didn't mean to close that window. I meant to minimize it. Oh, I do that every time. It's a baby Grogu. Ace says, yeah, Godot 4. Royal CW, I have to get off soon to school. Take care, Royal CW Gaming. Have a beautiful day, my friend. As always, you know what I'm gonna say. Keep going, keep growing, keep coding. And as always, you are welcome back anytime, Royal CW. Have a beautiful day. Enumerate is here. It says, well, hello, Lo. Hello, Enumerate. How are you, my friend? Happy Monday. Darkman says, I think after I'm done with my new game, I would like to make a survival game. I think a survival game would be really, really cool to make. I've had this, a friend of mine, I shouldn't say it was completely my idea at all. In fact, a friend of mine had this really cool idea for a survival game that looks really, really cool. Over on YouTube, we got this old nerd with the eyes. Enumerate says, a very happy Monday to you too. How have you been? I've been doing fabulous. Had a beautiful weekend. We got ourselves a dungeon generator that works. It has all the bells and whistles that I was hoping it might have by the end of the time. But it was really, really well. Wow, your version of Scratch looks super weird. Real Patty Whack says, wow, your version of Scratch looks super weird. Yeah, this is the new fancy version. This is Scratch version 2022.2.8F DX11. It's a new improved Scratch. You know, this ain't no Scratch Junior. This is Scratch, Scratch Senior we got going on over here. But yeah, we did finish. Finish is a strong word. But we made, I don't have it open here, but we finished. I keep saying finished. We wrapped up for now the dungeon generator. And so we went on that for 2 weeks, which was cool. So you had text files that looked kind of like these things here. We had dollar signs that hooked stuff together. And eventually you would generate an ASCII map like this. And then you could turn it into a 3D rendering using prefabs. You click a little button, it takes that ASCII and turns it into this. And then we had a little script that you could like walk around, and there you could walk through walls though. So, you know, I cheat a little bit in here by just not walking through walls. We didn't have the movement script perfectly set up. Really fun project though. Source code's available if anyone wants to find it. I haven't set up a command to show that just yet, but super fun little project. We're moving forward though. Someone said, hey, I'd love to see you make a crafting system. And I was going, you know what? That sort of goes along with the theme of the art, you know, where is it? I closed my web browser. Ace, you made me close my web browser. Why would you do that? How dare you? How dare you? But, where is it? Dungeon 2023. If I type that, there we go. It sort of goes along with, if I do a crafting system, I could probably add that into the dungeon crawler I'm gonna do. Ooh, Real Paddywhack says, does the captain like to be bammed? Well, boozled. No, just boozle. Just boozle. Real Paddywhack. Thank you for the follow today. Real Paddywhack. I thank you for joining the crew. How are you, Real Paddywhack? Thank you so much for joining. If you did not know, I am Captain Coder. Captain Coder is I, and I am a computer science educator. I teach in the school I work for is ages 10 to 14. I teach outside of that as well, but mostly 10 to 14. This stream is dedicated to learning and growing as a group. So questions are absolutely welcomed, programming or otherwise. You know, I can't promise I'll always have the answer, but be sure to ask lots of questions. I love them. And backseat coding is totally welcome as well. Totally welcome to backseat code on this stream. Once again, I'm not gonna take every suggestion anyone has, but I often learn a lot when someone says, hey, Captain, why are you doing this? Maybe you should do this other thing. What about this thing here? What, could you do this? Could you do that? You know, and that's how we learn and grow together. I missed what people were saying here. Let me scroll back up a little bit. Dremel, Ace was talking to Dremel saying, weird little goblin dude. Also, yeah, trying to make it less colonial and encourage moving around and exploring rather than creating a base and extracting all the resources around you. Yeah, that, I would, you know, I got a little distracted, but that would be a really cool little game thing to do. A game that's you're mobile, right? A survival game where you're mobile. How do you prevent someone from staying in one place? I thought a zombie survival where like there's just sort of like horde of zombies always coming towards you, and then like procedural generate the environment, so you always have to be on the move. Walking Dead style, I think would be really cool. I really liked 7 Days to Die, but that one you end up like building a base. That you just gotta build a base in that game to survive. Darkness says, my inventory system would be easy to program because I made an inventory system with my new game. Very cool. Dramulx replying to Ace said, for my RPG, I want the old school way. You need to go to a specialized NPC/crafting table to create things, because I like things that are deeply embedded into lore, and the power of a location enables you to create the item. How the power of a location. Also the factor of exploring and finding ancient locations where you learn how to create certain things appeal to me. That sounds like a really cool. So there's so much you can do with a crafting system, right? It can get super deep. Ace also says, I'm tricky like that. We got a tricky one on our fans, folks. Ace here is a tricky little lady, a tricky queen, you might say. Enumerate says, I'm gonna go make some tuna tacos. Ooh, tuna tacos. Give me some tuna tacos. Enumerate, you gotta remember, you need to bring enough for the whole class, my friends. But I'm looking forward to tasting them. Anyway, I look forward to seeing you in a bit. Real Paddywhack says, no bamboozling. Got it. Perfect. But feel free to boozle. Boozling's allowed. Bamboozling's not allowed. If you're boozling the captain, that's allowed. Bamboozling when you boozle the crew. You can boozle the captain, but leave the crew out of it. The captain enjoys it. Muna says, Walking Dead, what if we made a new game called Running Dead? Ooh, where the zombies are fast. Fast zombies. Shiny Game says, hello, sir. How's it going? Shiny, it's going absolutely fabulous, my friend. Happy Monday to you. How are you, Shiny? Darkman says, if you would add an inventory, I would like to help. So I don't think we'll be doing we'll be doing a very minimal inventory type thing here. I do want to have some drag and drop stuff going on. Maybe we'll implement an interesting inventory system. So we're going to talk about, my learning goals for what do I want to learn on this project? What do I want to learn by doing this project, and what are the scope goals? I kind of want to keep this one limited to like 7-ish days, something like that. 7 or 8 days on this project. So a whole inventory system might not be quite enough. Darkman, yeah, absolutely. You can share your inventory system on Discord. Please do in the share section of the game. You can even make a forum post or post it in the stream if you'd like. Real Pedox, I think Dan Olson made a great case for the launch day version of No Man's Sky being the exact sort of always wondering kind of game in his reviews. Yeah, it's really, really hard to make something like that. Let's see here. Ace says, Dramulks. Oh, neat. I'm definitely doing a thing with location-based power for things like that as well, but I'm limiting how much resources are possible to extract from each site, so you have to build multiple small sites and migrate continually between. Ooh, that sounds really cool. That sounds really awesome. Dramulks agrees, saying really awesome. Having to manage different smaller locations, I like that. Encourages exploration. Shady says, working on a side project today. What's your side project, Shady? Yeah, you can't just hang that little tidbit out there and not tell me more. You can't just say I'm working on a side project but not tell me anything else. I need to know more. Shady, how dare you? How dare you leave the captain's mind to wander? MMO Book says, your scroller says, happy Sunday, quiet you, happy Monday, everybody. This is why, guys always bothering me, for catching that mistake, MMO Pug. Thank you so much for getting 50 points to you, and for everyone here to see the captain making mistakes, 50 points to everyone. So that means 100 points to you, MMO Pug. 50 plus 50, did you know what that is? You know what that is? 50 plus 50, 50 plus 50. That's 100, my friend. That's 100. Ace says, the question of how does the player gain access to new recipes is really interesting at the moment. All are available. Oh, keep scrolling. All are available in WLG. I don't know what that means. And you discover based on experience with just, I love that. You don't necessarily tell people how to craft stuff. Instead, you gotta explore the thing. I kind of want to include that in my system a little bit, right? So I kind of, we'll get there when we talk about what I want my system to be, and then maybe what the scope is. I think that's a really cool idea of what recipes have you learned versus when you discover a recipe, what is it gonna say? What will it say? Real Pedox says, I dare say they did a bit of bamboozling. Yes, indeed. Indeedage. He says, can't let the captain's mind wander. Well, I can't help but let my mind wander. Sometimes I wonder why it wanders where it wanders and why. It goes this way, it goes that way, it goes all over the place. Mr. Nash says, woot. Oh, what? Moon is disapproving. All right, Moon says 50 plus 50 is 5,050. That you can't. That's true. That's true. If we were doing string concatenation, you would be correct. Real Paddywhack says, I don't know what points are, but yay for numbers going up. That's right. Yeah, that's right. There are numbers. There are numbers that go up. You can redeem them. There is a channel store. Darkman just linked to it. You can get a couple little dealies. Oh, seems good. Seems real good. All right, so there's a little bit of a channel store here. I'll show you if you get enough points. I'll show you a board game. I'll tell you a story if you want. There is this little bundle here that no one's redeemed yet. I only got one of these. I had some games in here, but no one seemed to really care about that, so I took them out. They were taking up a lot of space. Shady Game says, a bot for my Twitch with a transparent overlay. Ooh, Shady, that sounds really cool. That sounds really cool. You got to share. Please do share it on the Discord when you make some progress in your spot you want to share. Mr. Naps says freedom points. That's correct. That's correct. Moon says real paddywhack. It's basically yay numbers go up, but there's also a minor shop. That's right. Dramulks replying to A says at the moment I have base recipes that you find while exploring. Gained by quest rewards. Your game looks awesome, by the way, Dramulks. Bought from a store or thought by crafting masters, but it also a salvage system. Ooh, I like that. These salvage items can teach you how to craft them. Next, I will add a system where you can put in different materials in a cauldron and you can discover new recipes. Very, very cool. All right, folks, the rest seem to be point shoppage. All right, everybody, I'm all caught up. Whew. Whew, I did it. I made it through that. Keep them coming. Keep those questions coming, my friend. Moon is ranked 1 out of 1,000. Holy moly. Time. Yeah, that's right, Moon is. Time for a break. Oh, my job here is done, folks. Thanks for that. Thanks for that speed run. That reading and talking speed run. You know I'm not no good. I ain't no good. I'm not no good at that reading of the stuff. All right, so what are we working on today? What is the goal today? I want to start a crafting system. So this is day one. It's day one. We're starting crafting. Also, by the way, did you know today's stream is brought to you by the letter M? M is for Moonniz, folks. M is for Moonniz. I need to fix this graphic a little bit. Moonniz is an incredibly talented streamer and game developer working on a Metroidvania base game on his stream. Moonniz has taught me everything I know about Unity. He's been here teaching me this, teaching me that. I would not be where I am today without Moonniz. So everybody, if you would please direct your attention to the chat. Click that little heart. Give Moonniz some love, my friends. You got to check out his streams. He's usually streaming around lunchtime. For me, it's my lunchtime. I think it's in the evening for him. But be sure to check out Moonniz. This guy knows where he's going. Uh-oh, we got a woe chain started. Oh, we gonna get a woe? Gonna get a woe? Maybe, just maybe we'll get a woe. I don't know. We'll see if enough people want to participate in a woe. Whoa. There it is, my friends. We did it. The woe was a success. Deco Shima with the half honor high pans. Welcome back, Deco Shima. So happy to have you here. Real Padovac says, hit him with the woe. Yeah, hit him with the woe. Whoa. Give you a free woe, my friends. A free woe. Oh, Real Paddywhack. You're not quite there. You're not quite there. But you know what I'll do? There you go, my friend. I'll give you, just for being here, since you're new here, have a little bit of free points for, I appreciate you trying. So I'm going to go ahead and give those points to you, my friend. Whoa. That's right, folks. Whoa. So what are we going to do first? We got to plan out our learning goals. All right. We're 30 minutes in here, and we've done, we've had a lot of fun. But this is about learning and growing, folks. It's about learning and going. So we're gonna get over to our design, our docs here. Let's see. Yeah, my doc. Can I do doc? Doc, did this come out? There we go. You see this here? This device here is my document cam, doc cam. You can see the magic. If I get down here, you can. Hi guys. All right, so we're on our doc cam. And we are doing a crafting system. So I like, this is an educational stream. I like to do things where I'm learning something new. So what do I want to learn on this project? What are the things about this project where I want to learn and grow, where we can learn and grow together? Let's think about it. So this is our, let me write some words here. What is this? This is a crafting system. Okay, crafting system. One of the things I think I want to learn on this is to use scriptable objects. What do I want to learn? What do I want to learn? Scriptable objects. So everyone keeps saying, why aren't you using scriptable objects, Captain? Why aren't you using scriptable objects? Because they scare me. They scare me to my core. I don't know what they are. I don't know how to use them. So scriptable objects is something that I want to use. All right, scriptable objects. So I want to look into those a little bit. And so A says, what the friend is a scriptable object? What the friend? You know, what the friend is a scriptable object? I don't really know. All I know is people have asked me to use them. To do stuff, and I go, look, the WebGL documentation says not to use these to save or load data on the web. All right, but I think if we use it as part of like an editor script, it's not going to be a big deal. So scriptable objects, I want to do, I kind of want to say scriptable objects. I want to see if I can use this to store recipe, I can write, I promise I can write, to store recipe data. All right, so I think I want to see if I can use scriptable objects to store recipe data. At runtime, they won't change, but you can edit them in the editor and then use those. A says, what document hardware are you using here? This here is called a remarkable 2. I should make a little hotkey, little command for it because I get asked this all the time. This is a remarkable 2. This is a what is often called a productivity device. It's a writing drawing tablet that doesn't let you install anything else on it. You can like what is it called, where you know, jailbreak it, and it runs Linux, but the display system on it is very, very simple. It is essentially a Kindle that you can write on, and it feels really, really good to write on. Moon says, I use a lot of scriptable objects and it works using WebGL as well. I think what you've read, people trying to create save systems using, exactly, Muniz, that's what I read, and so I've misinterpreted that, and so I think it's really important for me to learn about scriptable objects so that I'm not saying things that are incorrect, because I've been very, very incorrect on it. Real Petty Rat says, oh, just got done rewatching a great talk at a 2017 Unity talk on scriptable objects for game architecture. Been putting in some work to port a lot of their examples over to Godot. Very cool. Dramilk says, my recipes are scriptable objects. The crafting system is a mono because I'm saving loaded data, the list of available recipes you have. Catbro says, eat up, Martin. Catbro, welcome back, my friend. So happy to have you back, Catbro. Welcome back to the crew. Ace says, I use White Lines notebooks for the same purpose. Gotcha. I'm not, like physical notebooks. I used to use it a lot. This was a gift for me. Someone got this as a gift because they knew I wanted something like this. I would never, that's not true. Now that I own this, I think I would buy it, but because I use it all the time. It's this is a Remarkable 2, Catbro, thank you for asking. Remarkable 2. It's like a 3 or, by the time you get all the accessories and stuff, it's like $500, so it's pretty expensive. Shady Game says, scriptable objects are so powerful. That's what I want to know. I want to know, how can I harness scriptable objects? So one of my learning goals is to learn about scriptable objects. Real Petty Whack, I'm making tutorials for scriptable objects and using them in ways people aren't normally doing. Very, very cool. Derek says, set for every object and number. It will make the crafting much easier. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not 100% sure what you're suggesting, but it may very well be what I need. Catbro says, oh, I had one of those. Dramok says, Moon, it depends on how your saving system works as well. And Catbro says, I didn't use it much, so I sold it. Yeah, for me, I use this daily. I absolutely love this thing. Like I said, it's a productivity device, and by productivity, it means that you don't have distractions on it. So you can't install apps. It's just for writing. It's just for drawing. I love having it physical. White Lines Ace says, White Line notebooks are a physical notebook that use gray paper with white lines and QR codes in the corner so it scans perfectly with the smartphone. Oh, that sounds really cool. Okay, so what do I want to learn? I want to learn about scriptable objects. Okay, scriptable objects for sure. I want to... So, yeah, scriptable objects is like the main Unity thing I want to learn. I have a reasonable idea of how I'm going to represent my recipes in code, but I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to represent them as data. So using scriptable objects to store recipe data. I think I'm gonna do that here. Another thing that I really want to learn about is using DLLs. This is dynamically linked libraries in Unity. So something I kind of want to do is have my recipes library be a so I often do this thing where I have like a non-Unity library and then I use it in Unity. Part of me is wanting to potentially write the whole recipe tool outside of Unity and then have it compiled to a DLL that I use inside of Unity. So I'm not sure if I really want to do that, but this one's a maybe. This one's a maybe, because the whole recipe system, people often get caught up in like, oh, well, you're making a Unity game. It's like, well, the recipe system doesn't have to be a Unity thing. It's the interactions, the UI stuff is going to be in Unity, but the actual library itself for crafting, there's no real reason it needs to be Unity. Moonix says, I missed something about Moonix and Dramlux there, so I apologize. Moonix talking about the benefits of serialized in a save system. I'm not 100% sure what was going on there. I missed it. Real Pet Up says, I am definitely going to have to check that out as well. I'm definitely falling in love with their Godot equivalent now that exporting derived versions of the resource class in the editors work properly. Although only for GD scripts at the moment, unfortunately, C# isn't getting the love for the 4.0 release. I'm very excited to check that out. Catbro says, I have a Rocket book that's like that Ace, except you can reuse the notes. Gotcha. Oh, I've heard of Rocket books. Yeah. Ace says, custom resource classes are really nice. Darkman, if you make a number, it would be easy to tell the program what to do, like wood equals 1, stone equals 1, wool equals 3. You got that. I have a different idea on how to do that. That would work. That would work using some kind of enumerated type like that. So the other thing, the last thing I kind of want to learn is, and Moon has mentioned this to me on my Discord, was the UI toolkit for UI in the game, in play mode. I think this would be a cool thing for me to learn and explore as well. Okay, so these are sort of my what I want to learn. And then also doing the crafting system is going to be important. What are we going to learn by doing the crafting system? I'm not 100% sure. Well, I'm going to learn a lot, but I'm not sure what the crafting system is going to look like yet. So these are my sort of big learning goals. What are the things that I really, really want to focus on learning? Well, we're going to start with scriptable objects. All right, so in my version 1, scriptable objects is the most important thing. I might do DLLs in Unity. Those will be sort of if we make it past this first iteration. And then the UI toolkit is probably going to happen. We'll see when we get there. So this is my learning goals. These are my learning goals. So let's talk about the scope a little bit. Ace asks, are scriptable... Oh, I missed it. Scrolling so fast. Ace asks, are scriptable objects a C# thing, not a Unity specific thing? They're Unity things. They are Unity specific, not C#. Moon says, I haven't used Godot enough lately, but I've heard that they're creating some new cool things in 4.0. 4.0 looks really, really cool. That said, I have not really used Godot at all. Real Pettybuck says, yeah, I used them to hack together an event system last night, and it ended up being such a pleasant experience that I sank way more hours than I was planning playing around with it. Nice. Ace. Yes, my recipe system is all custom resources, also my spawn/loot tables. Moon says, my first tutorial that will be up in a few days is the basic event system using scriptable. Ooh, I'm looking forward to seeing that. Real Pattywhack says, yeah, it's definitely fun, although unfortunately it doesn't seem to support web export at the moment, which really hampers my ability to use it for an upcoming project. Gotcha. Muniz, a lot of people are saying that I have 10 plus years of experience in Unity, so I'm staying with something where I have an insane amount of knowledge. That's fair. All right, so this is what I want to learn. The question now is, what is the scope? So what is the scope? So keep in mind, I want to, crafting system version 0. That's the one we're gonna do here. 7 days. 7 days. That's how much time we have to work on it. About 3 hours a day with on stream. So really this is going to be like 10 to 12 hours, I think. So this is how much time I think I'm going to actually have to spend working on it. Because on stream a lot of times I chit chat, have a lot of fun. So in my mind, it's like, what can I get done in 10 to 12 hours of programming work? And so here is the first pass, and it's just the first pass. We'll probably go 2 weeks on this, and so version 2. But I'm saying this is just me trying to set goals for myself. What can I get done in this amount of time? If I have more time, awesome. If I don't, what am I thinking I'll actually be able to accomplish during time? It's really, really important when you're building out a project, when you're looking at implementing something, is time estimate. How much time is it going to take you to do stuff? What are the things that you know how to do? What are the things you don't know how to do? And then how can you sort of estimate, well, I'm probably going to run into a bug here or there. Am I going to be writing unit tests? What sort of stuff do I need to know? Scriptable objects, Muniz says, are Unity specific, but to be honest, they're just a data wrapper that will persist. Gavin says, I don't really like the idea of using scriptable objects as event handlers or event triggers. I used it and it became a mess since you can't really track what's registered. Gotcha. Merc URL says, good day. Merch URL, let me know if I'm pronouncing that okay. Merch URL, it's probably not URL, it's probably merch URL. But I'm happy to be corrected by you. Merch URL, gotcha. Merch URL, happy Monday, my friend. Happy Monday to you. I hope you're having a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day here for me. What are we doing? We are working on building out a crafting system, a prototype crafting system. So we're just finding out what our goal is. Today's day 1. We just started this project. Moona says, Gavin Sack. Actually, Real Paddywhack first says, honestly, time estimates like that are not something I'm good at. No one's good at them, Real Paddywhack. That's why we're doing it. That's why we're doing it together. Everyone's terrible at it, and you got to practice. You got to practice to realize, when I do estimate something, what is the give and take that I'm always misaccounting for? And so then you can, if you ever are a freelancer, I did a lot of freelancing work, you can, what is it? You under promise and over deliver. You say, well, it's going to take me this amount of time, because in your brain you're going, well, it could actually take that time. And then you finish it in a couple days, boom, your client's happy. They hire you again and again and again. That's the goal. Moona says, Gavin, if you're using Writer, you can. They have small Unity plugin that shows all Unity usages. And I am going to create the editor window myself to share with the world. Moon is sharing with the world. Ace says, Moon is, I am a specialist in design and then a generalist in everything else, coding in different engines, modeling, rigging, animation, texturing, sound, writing, etc. Game developers tend to be like, the bards of programming in my mind, the bards. They do a little bit of everything. Jack of all trade. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. But maybe only the nose knows. All right, so our crafting system. The first version that I want, I want it to be, all right, so I want a couple things. I want an idea of recipes. So we're going to start with shapeless recipes. All right, so if you've done Minecraft, you know that there are shape recipes and shapeless recipes. I want to start with shapeless recipes. So these are recipes where you just need a specific set of items. They don't need to be positioned in a particular way. That said, so we're gonna have shapeless recipes, but we're gonna have crafting containers. All right, so we have shapeless recipes. That means you can put them in any position in there, but we have crafting containers, and a crafting container is going to be, so crafting container is something that I want to implement. This is going to be something that is a 2-dimensional grid. So you might have a small crafting container. Say you have a small sewing kit. Small sewing kit might be a 2x2 small sewing kit. All right. So different crafting containers allow you to craft different types of things. So in a sewing container, if you put, say thread and torn pants, it might produce pants. You know what I mean? So crafting containers, different containers have different sets of recipes. When it says, so we're doing Minecraft crafting. Not quite. I just wanted to say shapeless recipe, because in Minecraft, and I'm not sure if you're trolling me. Are you boozling me, Moonness? If you're boozling me, that's okay. In Minecraft, sometimes you have recipes where it sort of have to, you might do a stick, and then 3 stones across, and then you get a pickaxe or whatever that way. In this one, I don't want to deal with that shape to start out, having to have it shaped. So I'm going to go with just shapeless. If you have the right things in the box, it works. So you have different types of containers. The containers themselves, yes. So you have like a 3x3, a 2x2. You have different containers. WireX, welcome to the crew. WireX, I'm glad you're here with us today. WireX, I thank you for the follow. WireX, let me know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. So happy to have you here, my friend. Happy Monday. Welcome to the crew. Welcome to Captain Coder's Academy. All right, so I also, because it'll be a 2x2 grid, I also kind of want to have my crafting containers not necessarily be a 2, this one would be a 4x4, but the shape of the container doesn't necessarily be that. So I think I might want to do that as well. So the different kits have different grid setups inside them. So I have shapeless recipes, crafting containers. A recipe requires a specific container. So recipe had this says recipe. I know it doesn't look like it, but I promise this says recipe. I better fix that. Recipe is gonna have, container. So the different type of containers it can be combined in, and a list of, and this might actually be a list of containers. So these are the different types of containers that you could do this recipe in. And then we have a list of ingredients, as well as a list of, produced, these should really probably be items, list of items, ingredients, and then a list of items of sort of the thing that gets produced by this recipe. So that's the main idea with the recipe there. Oh, Wyrex says, haha, doesn't matter how you pronounce it. That song was beautiful. I'm glad you thought so, my friend. Learning codes, so this is something I saw as very interesting. I hope so. Our whole goal, the whole point of my stream is we're learning and growing together, figuring out how to do this stuff. Since you're new here, I'm Captain Coder. I am a computer science educator. I teach at a school ages 10 to 14. I don't know why I went off of that. I also do individual and group tutoring for all ages, depending on various topics. For example, I teach DevOps into one of my study groups. I also help with algorithms and data structures quite a bit. But that said, if you have any questions, WireX, you're in the right place. Do not hesitate to ask. I can't promise I'll always have the best answer, but I'll do my best. Programming related or not, feel free to ask away. Just keep them PG questions. I want this to be a family-friendly stream. Friendly stream. Terranam coming in with a raid. Terranam's coming in with a raid. We got a raid from Terranam. Hello. Whoa. Thank you so much for the raid, Terranam. Happy Monday to you, my friend. Happy Monday. How was your stream, Terranam? For anyone who doesn't know, I need to create a Terranam button. Terranam. Let me know if I'm pronouncing that wrong. I always get it wrong. Gotta click that little heart button. Click that little heart button. Give them some love, everybody. Attention all lurkers. We have a very important guest in the chat. Please direct your attention to the chat if you would. This little heart button here. You see this little heart? You gotta click. If it's green, you're already following. Don't unclick it. Don't break Terranam's heart. You gotta give Terranam some love. If it's not green, click it. Hey. You in the back, pay attention. Click that button. I see you back there not paying attention. Click it. What's stopping you? There's nothing stopping you. There's nothing stopping you. Tyranam, thank you so much for the raid, my friend. Tell us about your stream. Let me, one sec. VIP Tyranam. Tyranam, please post a link to your you have a wish list page, I believe. If you would please post a link. I'd love to see it. And other people gotta go hit that wishlist button. Looks awesome. Frosh Tart says, is that paper or digital tab? This is a digital tablet that's attempting to replicate the touch and feel of paper. I love it. I love it. Watch, check this out. Check out how cool this thing is. Look at how well you can draw on this. This is a drawing I did. Wasabi cheetah. Wasabi cheetah, thank you for the follow. Wasabi cheetah, welcome to the crew. Wasabi cheetah, thank you so much for the follow, my friend. Happy Monday to you. I hope you're having a beautiful day wherever you happen to be in the world. I'm having a beautiful day, and I am so happy that you are here at Captain Coders Academy. I'm missing so much chat. I'm so sorry. Shadi asks, I think, though. Shadi, you're asking, did you do that? Yes, this is a drawing I did. I spent a week. Do we have all the toads? I spent a week. This is back in 2021. This is a long time ago. I spent a week practicing drawing frogs. Whoa, we got a whoa. Thank you. We practicing drawing frogs, drawing toads for a week, and that last one was one I did. So these were all done from sort of looking at pictures and trying to draw them. And then I like this is one of my favorite. I want to give this guy like a little wizard hat and a staff. This one looks like a toad, like a toad wizard to me. But yeah, this was a while ago. All right, so this was like the week of frogs, and so these ones were me practicing drawing like pictures. So I had pictures and I was drawing them. And then this was sort of that last one you saw was sort of the culmination, if you will. So all of these other ones were drawn from a picture. And then the last one here, if we get back to it, it takes a while to load because these are like complex. This last one was one I did without a reference. This is one I did without a reference. So I'm really happy with this. Tyranam, no problem, my friend. Have yourself a beautiful day. As always, keep coding, keep growing. Have yourself a beautiful time. And you are welcome back anytime, my friend. Anytime. But what are we working on today? What are we trying to get done today? Let's go back here. We're working on an RPG crafting system. If I missed something that someone was saying in chat and you want me to see it again, don't hesitate to say it one more time, because so much just happened. It was so nice that we're all here and I got distracted. Simple Game says, hello, how is it going today? It's going beautifully. Well, Simple Game Dev, we haven't started coding, so there's no bugs yet. You can't no bugs yet. Can't write any bugs if you haven't written any code. So welcome in Simple Game Dev. So happy to have you here again. Darkness says, I shared the inventory on the Discord. Awesome. We might take a look at that. I'm not sure if we'll get there just yet, Darkman, but thank you so much for showing it. I'm trying to define my scope here real quick. And we also got Rave in this chat. Ooh, lots going on. Real Pedox is sure, since I know I'll forget if I don't say it now, it just occurred to me that you kind of remind me of Germa985. Well, I hope that's a compliment, because I have no idea who that is. I'm so sorry if I don't know who that is, but I hope that's a compliment, and I'm glad you're enjoying yourself. Game Dev Lady is here in the crew. Game Dev Lady, I'd like to welcome you to Captain Coders Academy. I appreciate that you clicked that follow button, 'cause I'm so happy that you are here today. Game Dev Lady, happy Monday, my friend. Welcome aboard. Welcome to Captain Coders Academy. If you are new here, which I think you might just be, this is Captain Coders Academy, We are learning, growing together here. I am a computer science educator. I teach at a school ages 10 to 14, and I keep saying this over and over. So I'm sorry if you're getting tired. Yeah, WireX, I'm so sorry that my rhyming's not the best. I apologize, folks. Need Job Cutter says, what do you think of the Godot engine? Unfortunately, I haven't used Godot enough to have a really solid opinion. For anyone who's just tuning in, Captain Coder's only been doing, people get mad at me for saying this, but I'm not a game developer. I'm not, and then people, whoa, but you've developed games. I'm like, well, yeah, maybe a little bit. I've only been doing Unity stuff for about 2 months. I started, all right, so I'm a computer science teacher. I teach C#. I teach C# and other things. But my students asked me to teach a Unity class, and so I started really learning Unity. I've hacked in Unity a little bit before that. But my students want me to teach a Unity. Good. Seems good, Darkman. Thank you so much for the seems good. But yes, we are learning and growing. I've been doing Unity for about 2 months. I've done a lot of really hacky stuff in Unity prior to that, but I'm trying to learn the system. That said, I don't know much about Godot engine. It looks really cool, but we do have someone here. We have several people, I think, but Ace does game dev quite a bit in Godot, from what I understand. Need Job Cutter says, that's cool. I like Unity, except from Unity being really heavy on my laptop. Yeah, Unity's a beast of a program, I suppose. Rave says, I'm a liar. Speaking about me. But yeah, so happy to have you all here. All right, so I'm gonna look away from the chat just for a minute, folks, while I try and finish my scope here. So, this is why I say even though I'm gonna be working on this for 7 days, I think I really am only gonna be working on it for about 10 to 12 hours. Because, the chat's just too much fun. It's too much fun. And people will ask a question. I want to be like, oh, you want to know about the singleton pattern? Sure enough, let's go explore the singleton pattern. You want to know about events in C#? Let's go explore events. All right. Dremel says you need a no chat stream at some point to actually start working on stuff. But I like the chat. I like chatting. I'm here for a good time. Yeah. Quick. Looking away, make trouble. As I look, I'm unable to focus. I'm completely unable to focus. All right, folks, here we go. All right, mods, pay attention to the chat for me, please. All right, so this is essentially what I want in version 0.
You in the back. Pay attention.
Pay attention. That's right. The shapeless recipes. I want to be able to do shapeless recipes, and a shapeless recipe has a list of the possible things you can combine in it, the possible ingredients that it is, the items it takes to produce it, as well as a list of items that it produces. This could just, in most cases, it'll be one thing it produces, but you can imagine a recipe that produces multiple things. That's all I want in this first version. Our crafting containers will have different shapes to them as well. All right, so that's sort of what I want for the first version. One other thing that I want is in a container crafting, when we go to craft. So there's going to be like this idea of a craft button, right? Or a craft method. I want my craft method to be relatively efficient. So my craft method should not need to iterate over all possible recipes. All right, so this is an important thing. In my game, I don't want you to have a known list of recipes and you iterate over this. I want you to be able to explore, put various random things into your box and click combine, and that needs to be able to efficiently determine whether or not that thing can be created there. I don't want to have to loop through every possible recipe. Instead, I want to have a quick lookup, find some kind of key that's based off of the list of ingredients and the container you're using. So that is a requirement. All right, so that is the scope that we have for this project. What do I want to learn? I want to learn about scriptable objects. maybe how to, you know, actually import a DLL into Unity. I know you can just drop it in, but I'd like to look at that process a little bit more of like, what is the compilation process? Can I have it set up so can I work on the code separately and then it'll sort of like compile and drop it in and I don't have to have my source code present in Unity? Can I have it in sort of like a folder outside? That would be really nice to me because then I could use unit testing outside of Unity. Yeah, and then finally, this one we might not actually do. And then the UI toolkit for doing the UI in play mode. I like this idea. So you can have sort of like I want to drag and drop crafting system. So you drag things you maybe have like I want to sort of like a fake inventory. I want a spot where you have items and you drag and drop them in. All right, folks. That's what we're gonna do. This is the plan. All right. That's the plan. That's the plan. Coming on back. Bring it on back in. Doc cam off. Doc cam off. What did I miss? Did I miss anything? If I missed something important. Sounds good. If I missed something important, please feel free to post it again. Or even, you know, if you'd like something that's not necessarily related to the ongoing chat at this moment, if you'd like to share something that you have, feel free to join our Discord. No pressure. You don't have to join the Discord if you don't want to. I know everyone's on a million Discords, but if you want to join a Discord for a fun community where we're learning and coding together, asking questions, you want to comment, maybe you want to suggest something. Maybe there's a project like, Captain, I've always wanted to see how you might approach this problem. Feel free to go on to the Discord there and ask the whole, so check it out. Check it out. The reason we are doing a crafting system, come on over to this Discord here. The reason we're doing a crafting system is because someone suggested a crafting system. Someone in the suggested project, someone suggested a crafting system. That's the whole reason we're doing it. Thank you, Unity Coder, for this suggestion, my friend. Absolutely happy that you did that because I'm looking forward to this project. Seems really good. Real Paddywhack, Ace says, Real Paddywhack, I love GD script. Oh, my personal, it reminds me too much of Python, and I'm not an anti-Pythonista, but I did not enjoy working in Python. I like my languages to have types in them. I only say use C# for people who want to be able to migrate to Unity for work. Gotcha. Dark says, tip, use Trello to make a list for the crafting recipes and minerals so you don't get lost. Ooh, that's an interesting idea. I might do that. I've used Trello in the past for stuff. I haven't used it specifically for like keeping track of my recipes, but maybe the ones that I haven't added. Real Peter says, Ace, fair enough, although I hope Godot can get the recognition it deserves and be the blender of the games. I honestly think Godot is going to be huge eventually because of the open source part on it. Okay, so, folks, guess what? We just finished our first goal of the day. We did it, folks. We did it. We made it before the first break. Write a learning goals, folks. This is just some good grammar here. Write a learning goal. Write a learning goals and scope document. Never mind, that is good English. That is good. So write a learning goals and scope. That's the thing. Right, definitely nice to not always have to. The syntactic white space only bugs me more than the option, the shape of the code. So in my mind, there's like the shape of the code. Come back to the crew. Side Dead says, I'm so happy to see you again. Rave says, I want better C# documentation. Mr. Nash says, oh no, I'm not on 2 devices at the moment. Do I get double points? No points. Apparently Stream Elements is having trouble right now, so I apologize. I can't give out points. It says, Ace says to Moonez, I wouldn't use it for AAA, but for products up to mid-level, I think it's solid. Past that, I would be looking at the big 2 custom. For me, I want to, if we can get C# in Godot nice and I can learn it well. Oh, bummer. Let's see, is it back up? That's right. Sometimes they have like this maintenance window right around here. Lost Side Dead says, thank you. Happy to see you. I'm so happy to see you. MMO Pug Moonez has all the points. There are no more points to give. That must have been what happened. Real Pedrick says, but yeah, definitely wish GDScript had proper support for multi-dimensional arrays and generics, so I'm definitely glad C# is an option. Code Red Game says, hi, how's it going? Code Red Games, happy Monday, my friend. Thank you for popping in. So nice to see you. Code Red Games, did you know? No, not Code Red Games, but everyone, did you know Code Red Games is also a game developer? If you are not, everyone, please watch the screen just for a moment. Code Red Games is developing a game called Roguelite. It's an amazing, horrifying 2D Souls-like game, challenging game where you gotta learn patterns of your enemies, gotta dodge them. You got melee attacks, you got ranged attacks, you got special moves, you got equipment you can, learn how, you got combos, you got synergy. Code Red Games, folk, awesome game. So excited. I'm Game of the Year 2024, folks. Game of the Year 2024. Make sure you give Code Red some love. Click that little heart button. Follow Code. You gotta check out his stream. Streams almost daily. Awesome stream. Fun to do. All right, so we wrote our learning goals. I'm so sorry. Here, I'm gonna put a little note here. Need to give folks 50 points. We're gonna put that in there. It'll show up on the stream. So we're going Orco Lee, thank you for the follow. Orco Lee. Oh, apparently Orco Lee followed about 4 minutes ago. I hope you're still here, Orco Lee. I just saw the follow here. Happy Monday, Orco Lee. Happy to have you aboard Captain Coders Academy. Welcome to the crew, my friend. All right, folks. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask. I'd love to entertain your questions. And there was one other thing. Oh yeah, backseat coding is encouraged. I'm so sorry, folks. The stream elements is down. Stream elements is down for maintenance. It looks like they did an update last week, so now's the hopefully nothing terrible happens in the meantime. But what are we doing? What are we doing? All right, finish out. We want to set up our Unity project and our assemblies. All right, so if you've been here before, you know that Captain Coder likes to write unit tests. And so we're gonna go through the process. If you've never written unit tests in Unity before, if you've never written unit tests, you're probably not Captain Coder. But if you try to write unit tests in Unity, by default, we run into some issues. You can't just write unit tests. You have to create a unit test assembly. And so we're going to walk through that process now. Real Petty at Whack asks, what if my question is, what's the capital of Honduras? You could ask that question if you want. So your question is, what if my question is something? So the answer to your question of what if my question is, then the answer to that question is one in which I will attempt to answer. Stream Elements is back, folks. Add points, all 50. 50 points to all of you. 50 points. All right, we did it. For being here to witness that momentous occasion. 50 points to all of you. It says, yes, scripting languages like Python and GDScript are for quick dev, prototypes, gameplay content, and then C# is what I would use for core systems. Well, Ace, I kind of agree with you that Python is for quick development, and yet we've written giant applications that rely on it. Giant, massive applications. All right, Dekoshima says, testing PogChamp. You're testing the PogChamp? You're trying to get a PogChamp chain going? Is that what you're doing, Dekoshima? A PogChamp chain. A PogChamp chain. Here it goes. Can we get a PogChamp chain going? Can we get a whoa? Can we get a whoa? All right, so I'm gonna make a folder here. It's gonna be our editor tests. Oh, we got a chain started, but fell flat. Fell flat, folks. Looks like it's not gonna happen. That's just too bad. That's just too bad. Guess we'll never get to see the whoa. All right, so so pay attention, folks. Hey,
you in the back, pay attention.
If you want to see how to set up editor test in Unity, here we go. If you want to set up how to do editor test in Unity, we're about to do that here. Let me start over. Here we go. Oh, and I can click in. Hang on. Whoa, that's right. All right, Darkman, saving everything. We're going to add a marker here to the stream because I just learned how to do that. And we're about to explain how to set up unit tests in a Unity project. So .NET uses something called assemblies, and you need to have an assembly just for your unit test. And so the idea is this chunk of code will not be packaged up and shipped with the rest of your project. It's separate. So the actual working version doesn't need to have that extra chunk of data associated with it. And so assemblies are sort of like little chunks of data that are individually packaged and work separate from each other. You don't need, you know, sometimes they rely on each other. All right, but here we go. I've created a folder called editor tests here, and I need to get an assembly. If you go to your window in the top menu, you're gonna come down to general and test runner. General and test runner. There's several ways to do this. This is the way I like to do it. And you'll notice it actually says, hey, by the way, you have no tests. You have no tests. We're just gonna do edit mode test for now. There's play mode test as well. We're not gonna set those up today, but edit mode test, you click create edit mode test assembly folder. And I'm just gonna call mine, I really should have called this test here. We do test like this. Okay. And it's gonna actually add an assembly to our project. So if we come in here to this folder, you'll notice now I have this. I had to take a drink of my bean water there in the middle of a sentence. I apologize. But we have this folder here called test now, and inside of it we have this thing called test.asmdef. This is an assembly def. This is an assembly that is just, if we look at the definition here, this assembly is just for our editor platform. This means when we compile it and build our project, this will not be deployed to anyone else but us. This is strictly for us to use in the editor. Okay, so we have this now. We can now do the following. I can right click down here. You don't have to right click. You can do this in your editor as well. But we're gonna create, and in this menu, there's a testing, and we're gonna create a C# test, and I'm just gonna call mine example test. I haven't created anything really to test it, but example test like this. And you can use this to write a test that you can execute automatically to make sure everything, make sure your assumptions about how your project should work are working without having to hit play and go to your scene and do all kinds of, extra stuff to test it out by hand. So I'm gonna double click this and we'll click yes on here. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that thing that popped up here. Hang on, why am I getting, this is open up in the weirdest way. Something very strange has happened here. Something very strange has happened here. I'm gonna get, hang on. Hold on, folks. Hold on, I need to open up a new code window. This should be our crafting RPG. Let's look, what's in this folder? CD. Oh, I'm not in the right Git. Hang on. CD captain coder org. CD crafting system. See RPG crafting code here. We're gonna open this up here. Don't mind the magic typing down there. That's just me, using the terminal to navigate my system. All right, so here we are here. Go ahead and yes, click OK. Let this build. I know what's happening. I need to move my git ignore into this folder. Reload, bear with me. Everyone grab your bear, because we gotta bear with me just for a moment while I get this back into a good spot. So we're gonna set up our test assembly here. All right, cool. So now will this open properly? There we go. So we have this example test. And by default, it gives us 2 empty tests. We're not gonna deal with play mode tests for now. I'm gonna go and get rid of our play mode test. Instead, we're going to use just like a typical test. This uses a framework called NUnit. That's like .NET unit. So this comes from other testing platforms, like Java's testing platforms called JUnit. This one's called NUnit. There's another one called XUnit that I prefer, but Unity uses NUnit, so that's what we're using. And so you'll notice here, I actually get a little test here for my example test. And if I click run all, I get this little checkbox. I get a little checkbox that says, hey, your tests are passing. And that's because my test doesn't really test anything. But you can do the following. Say you have code and you're expecting to work in a specific way. You can do what's called an assertion. So let's say I have a class, right? Well, let's go ahead and do this. Let's make a quick class here, just as an example. Close this welcome screen. I'm going to create this little quick test. So we're going to do example.cs. Let's imagine I have a class, public class example. And my example has a method. My example has a method float which says like do calculation like this. And by default, I'm gonna return 0. Okay, do calculation. Dark Mass, what are you making now? I'm just walking everyone through how to set up unit tests using Unity. So the goal that I'm working on right now is setting up a Unity project and my assemblies. So I'm walking through that process. Because people have asked me to walk through this process. So I'm hoping to take this, chop it up to a little video and share that. But please ask questions if you want to know. Real Patty Whack asked, what if I am a bear? What if you are the bear? Then you just got to get down. You got to bear down. That's right. So in our example here is that we have a single method here, do calculation. So our example test, we might say something like this. Returns 4.2. All right, so that might be what this method's supposed to do, returns 4.2. In our example test, this is where you test the assumptions about how your code works. So in this case, I might create a new example, E equals new example. And this is a super simplified use case. And then the idea, let me get Unity to compile this for me. One moment. Everyone real quick, grab Real Patty Wax. You gotta bear with me. Bear with me. Real Patty Wax a bear, supposedly. And so we're gonna bear down here. All right, Real Patty Wax says, got it. We'll continue to steal picnic baskets and mildly inconvenience partners. All right, Yogi. All right, Yogi. Real Patty Wax smarter than the average bear, folks. Smarter than the average bear. All right, so we have this example here. We can do this calculation like this. We'll say float actual, and you'd say assert. If we're gonna assert, hang on, I gotta reload this. It's not connected. It hasn't figured out that this is an NUnit test. One sec, I wanna be able to do an assertion here. Bear with me just a little longer while this loads. Bear with me, please. I know you're gonna do a thing in a minute. All right, so then we're gonna do assert dot, there it goes. Of course, waited till you pop up the F# thing. I know you're gonna do it. Assert dot R, why is this not popping up? R equal, the expected is 4.2, and then the actual here. So we're gonna assert, let's make sure this builds. So this lets us write a little test to test out our assumptions without having to go in and check it out. Proton, I'm so sorry I missed the raid. Proton brought in the raid. Proton, my friend, thank you so much for the raid. I'm so sorry I missed it. If anyone, did you guys know? Proton is an astounding Commodore 64 coding guru, musician, and graphician. Absolute legend. You gotta check out his SoundCloud, check out his stream. Gotta follow Proton. I hang out in Proton stream all the time. I call it the work and lurk a lot. I like to chat with Proton when I have a little bit of time, but the music there is just so good. It's so good. Let's check it out. Let's check out this music. We're gonna open up some Proton music, folks. Proton. You hear this? You hear this jam? This is an original. Is this an original Proton? I think this one's an original. This is Buffer Overflow by Proton, folks. Amazing music, amazing, absolutely astounding music. All right, so, but we were writing this unit test here. And so the idea is that I can click run all, and it's gonna tell me, oh, this thing's broken. So now if I ever, oh, okay, so my first goal here is like, let's get this to work. Let's get this to work. And if this assumption holds, now when I run this, oh, what had happened? Well, I need to put an F here. So now I've fixed my calculation to pass, or to meet my specifications. Now I run this, it's gonna tell me whether or not it passes. So let's say later on I come up with a different way. This is a really dumb example. Let's say later on I come up with a more efficient way to perform this method, or I think I do. There's something I wanna change here. I can modify this method, and I know right away just by clicking the run, whether or not this broke that portion, this unit of code. All right, so this is how you add your unit test assembly to Unity. So I hope everyone I really hope people use unit tests. Unit tests are just, they're this nice little safety net. I often say, you know, as a programmer, as a developer, one of your main jobs as a software engineer is to manage the complexity of your program, and this is such a good tool to manage that complexity. If you change something in a giant program, you get in trouble. You get in trouble. All right, folks. All right, so we have our assembly here. The idea, but remember what I was saying is when you have a test assembly, the idea is it's separate from the rest of your program. So I'm gonna rename this actually. This says test here. I'm gonna call this our, this is gonna be, what's it gonna be? This is our crafting tests. Okay. A says, remember, if you want to get into the game industry, you will never be allowed time to do unit tests. That's not entirely true. That's not entirely true. I think that, I don't know if that's entirely true. I've had friends who I have one friend. I can think of one friend who says they write unit tests and they work for a big game company that starts with an E and ends with an A. But it just happens to be the project that they're working on. It's not that everyone does it. It's because their manager knows and understands the benefit of those tests. Ace, I've seen a lot of companies that aren't even game development that don't write tests. I actually worked as a consultant. Like that was like a big thing that I did. I worked as a consultant going into startups and teaching devs how to write unit tests. I think a big part of it is people don't know, they don't understand the benefit of tests. So they think, oh, that's a waste of time. Simple Game Dev says, thank you for the shout out. I had to run AFK for a bit, so I was not here. No worries, Simple Game Dev. Thank you for popping in. So happy you are here, my friend. Happy Monday. How are you? And if you gotta run, that's fine too. But happy Monday. He says, I've never seen unit tests in game dev studios either. It's a lot harder to test games compared to software. But it's harder to test the play tests are much harder. But it's not, so like for example, if you're building a crafting system, like I'm about to do, that's a testable thing. So the idea is identifying what can be tested and understanding what can't be tested. So there's two things. There's two things there. If you design well, a lot more things can be tested than you might think. It's hard to do play tests, but testing smaller systems, if you break it down into systems, absolutely, I think you can test things in game dev. Real Pettiwreck says, also remember the product doesn't go out the door unless you finish making it, and that you probably have more power to insist on doing things right than you think, possibly. Ram Slayer says, hello from the other side. From YouTube, Ram Slayer, happy Monday, my friend. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for being here. So happy to have you here. All right, so we need to make our test assembly. Be able to, I'm gonna move this up to my main folder here. And I'm gonna rename this folder. I'm gonna do a little refactoring here. I'm gonna refactor this folder to be called crafting tests. Real Petty says, I must have called 1,000 times to tell you. Shiny says, back from Lurk, how's it going? It's going, Shiny. We are setting up our project here. We just put in a crafting test assembly. And I demonstrated how to set up in a test assembly and write a little unit test for it. The other thing here is now I want to create a folder specifically for crafting. So I'm going to try and follow good conception here. This is going to be Captain Coder. So this is going to be my namespace, Captain Coder, then create folder. Crafting system. CaptainCoder.crafting system is what I'm going to be using here. But it says, but the feature were supposed to be done yesterday. Game dev environment is incredibly hectic and you don't have time to do it. Doesn't matter if it makes sense to you, just don't have time. Here's the thing, Mooniz. If you have a manager that understands that if you have well-written tests, that you're actually going to be way ahead in 6 months, then you have a good manager. Right? So not all managers understand that. So so most game dev studios are not good at managers. Exactly. If you have a good manager, they will understand that a unit testing framework, that having unit tests set up is going to save you so much in the long run. There's this overhead that you have to invest, but then in the long run, suddenly there comes a point when it's like, oh, we have to do this refactor on that system. Oh, thank goodness we had all these tests, because now not everything breaks. The alternative tends to be like, okay, well, we're going to hire lots and lots of QA people just like randomly test stuff like a bunch of monkeys on typos. G says, just tell them, remember this. There will be a test later. Like I said, for a long time, I worked as a consultant. I did freelancer consultant, where I would convince managers why they needed unit tests, come in, train their devs to write unit tests, refactor their work, and say, okay, this is how we refactor this to write tests, and then boom, they save so much money by doing it in the long run. It says usually you don't refactor things in game dev, you scrap systems and make new ones to fit the new design. Yeah, that's why it takes so long to get anything done. You know, a lot of times there's not a good reason to scrap anyway, that's fine. So in my mind, you prototype. Prototypes usually don't need tests. So you prototype, then you figure out, okay, this is how the system's gonna work. Write your tests and write your implementation. You don't have to write them in that order. You can implementation and test at the same time, but having specs are so important. Shady says, I do refactor a lot nowadays. Yeah, so we have Captain Coder, crafting system. G says, I don't refactor much. When I have to refactor, it's for the sequel. Refactor the sequel. All right, folks, we're getting close to our first break here. I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna create a script here. This is gonna be the first thing, I'm gonna call this my shapeless recipe. Okay, and this is not gonna be a mono behavior. I want this to be, my goal here is to have my Captain Coder.crafting system. I want to have a non-Unity assembly and then a Unity assembly. So Captain Coder.crafting. So I want everything in my goal here. I'm gonna try and make everything not use Unity. And I know people get like, why not? You're using Unity. Why not make it use Unity? Namespace Captain Coder.crafting system, like this. It's our shapeless recipe. It's not a mono behavior. This is a specification of a recipe here. All right, I hit that. I wanted that to be a form. Hang on. Now we got to wait for it to load. Ace says, you nailed the main thing. QA staff is way, way cheaper in games than other parts of software development. Hence, they do that instead of the testing overhead. Yeah, but QA tends to miss so many things, and they find bugs, but they don't make your code cleaner. They don't make your code more maintainable and easier to scale. That's really, QA will find bugs for you though. Moon says, in game dev, you often write something to test if it's fun. If it isn't fun, you don't modify it to be fun, you create something new. That's why I'm saying, like, there's a difference between play tests and like system tests, right? So it depends on what you're doing. And a lot of times it's like, oh, if you're making a game that you're like, I'm gonna build this, it's gonna be a small game, I'm gonna make it in 2 months, ship it, and I'm never gonna touch it again, probably don't need to write tests. G says, I think most game studios always just rewrite everything for the the dequils instead of keeping the same routines. That's no bueno, my friend. Shady says, do you know if there's a soft limit for the list, like a max amount of items in it, in my shapeless recipe or in C#? I don't think I'm going to implement a limit in my recipes. Ace says, yeah, they miss heaps, but it's cheaper and good enough. When it says, it's like when you create a game. If your game isn't fun, adding more content usually doesn't make it fun. It's bad from the start. Shay says, in general, C#, of course. I don't think there's a limit on what you can put in outside the limit of like your computer, the amount of memory your computer can hold. I think the way the data structure, almost certain the way the data structure is implemented is it's just an array. Under the hood that has a little bit more built into it. So the answer, I believe, I'm 97.5% confident. I can say with 97% confidence that there is no limit to the size of lists, the list data structure. The limit is the size of your system's memory. Real Power says, I think there'd be a soft limit insofar as you can only allocate so much memory before the operating system tells you your game take a long walk off a short pier. Exactly. G says, well, there's probably a limit, but if your recipes are reaching the limit, then it's probably not fun to play. Yeah. All right, folks, we are at 90 minutes. I am out of coffee. I'm almost out of water. Oh, that's good. We are going to take a quick break. I'm going to get a refill. And we are going to be back. Moon is, I actually think it might be 64-bit on a 64-bit system. It might actually be 2 to the 63 minus 1. Unicorn says, I think array has some max size. Byte array. All right, folks, I shall return. Hang tight. We will be right back. All right, folks, the captain has returned. I'm so sorry. If your hands hurt from hanging on, I apologize. Let's shake them out a little bit. Let's shake him out a bit. We are back. If you're new here, if you know, I'm back. We just took a break. You know what's about to happen. If you're new here though, Captain Coder loves you. You should love you. And if you love yourself, you should love your body. And if you love your body, you gotta take care of your body. If you're like me, you live a semi-sedentary lifestyle. You sit in front of your computer, hunched over, your body's aching. You do these RSIs, repeated stress injuries, you're giving them to your body all day long. If you're sitting in the same spot, the blood's pulling in your butts, pulling in your feet, wherever you happen to be, you gotta take care of your body. So everybody get on up. Get on up with me. We're gonna do some stretches. We're gonna take care of ourselves. You need to take care of your body. Hey, I see you back there now. Get up.
You in the back, pay attention.
Get on up. We're gonna get some stretches in, everybody. We're gonna take care of our body. We're gonna do my favorite stretch. My favorite stretch right here. This one here, I have carpal. I have carpal tunnels. Aikens, thank you. Aikens, thank you for the follow. Aikens, I don't know if that's how you pronounce your name, but I sure hope it is. Be sure to correct me if I'm wrong. Aikens, thank you so much for the follow, my friend. Happy I dropped all my stuff around when I picked that mic up. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome aboard. We're gonna take care of ourselves, everybody. Get on up. We're gonna do some stretch. We're gonna do my favorite stretch. I have carpal tunnel on my right arm, and so this is a stretch that you should absolutely do. Once a day. If you're sitting there typing all day, if you've got your hand on a controller today, this is a good stretch to do. We're gonna take our hand. We're gonna stretch this forearm here. This forearm muscle. Take that hand. Take that arm. Straighten it out. Don't lock. You want to make sure there's blood flow. Don't lock at the elbow. Fingertips up, and you just pull them gently back. Pull it gently back until you feel the tension here stretching. If it hurts, you are pulling way too hard. Just pull until you get that nice tension there. Straight arm. Oh, doesn't that feel good? You gotta take care of yourself. We're gonna hold this for 20 seconds, folks. Just hold it there. Nice, get a nice little stretch in. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it feels good. Get that blood flowing there. Feel that blood gushing in and out of your heart muscle. Ooh. Going into that arm, the left arm, that's where that blood goes. That's the first place it goes, I think. Is that right? Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong. No, I think it probably goes up to your brain. I bet that's the first place it goes. All right, roll it around. Roll that wrist up. Take our hand. We're going to pull it down. This time we're stretching across the top. Again, this one's easy. Don't hurt. If it hurts in the wrist, don't pull that hard. You want to pull down and stretch it out. Here. Oh, yeah. Hold it here. We're going to hold this for 25 seconds, folks. Ooh. Ooh, does it feel good for you? It feels good for me. Ooh, yeah, that stretch is nice. Gotta just get that in there. Take care of yourself. Take care of that body, folks. Because the captain loves you. He wants to, the captain wants to see your body be nice and strong and, not break down on you. You gotta prevent those arm sides. Ooh, yeah. Roll it out. Roll it out. We're gonna switch sides now. We're gonna go to this arm. Right arm here. Go ahead and pull into it that way. Boogie Zolo, don't take me out of account. The captain wants to see your body be in good health. The captain wants to see you in good health. Good health. That's you, Boogie Zolo. Boogie Zolo, don't make me come through that screen, because I'll come and get you. I'll come and get you, my friend. And then you'll be sorry. They'll all be sorry. No, I take it back. I take it back. Yeah, go ahead and stretch it out. Stretch it out. Thank you for that warning. Please don't click me out of content. Please don't click. This is a PG. This stream is PG. Ace says, Captain really needs to buy me dinner before these stretches. No. You do them for you. All right, roll out that wrist. Now we're gonna go the other way. We're gonna pull down. Again, this one's easy. You don't want your wrist to hurt when you're doing this. You want to just feel that tension. Once you get the little bit of tension there, you should stop pulling. Stop increasing the tension. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good stretch. I really like this one. This is like I always say, this is like my favorite stretch here. Stretching out these arms. And I think especially on my right side, this is where I have my carpal tunnel. It feels so good. I love it. Oh yeah. All right, folks, roll it out. All right. Everyone up on your tiptoes, reach up into the sky. If you need to if your shirt's a little too small like mine, if you're getting a little too thick, I gotta do a little bit more exercises. But pull your shirt down. This one, you might expose that belly a little bit. It's okay if you want to expose your belly, but Captain's not going to expose the belly to you. I'm going to try not to. Take a deep breath in, reach up, get up on those tippy toes, and reach on up. Reach for the sky, folks. Get a nice stretch in. We're going to hold this for 20 seconds. Engage those core muscles. Let's keep that balance. You might, if you want to, if you need to spread your feet out a little bit, you need to spread your feet out a little bit too. That's no problem. That's no problem. Oh, yeah, that's good. That's good. Hold it here. 5 more seconds, folks. And then we're going to take in a deep breath. Deep breath. As you exhale, roll down. You're going to hinge at the waist. Hinge at the waist. Keep those legs straight, but not locked. Don't lock the knees because you don't want to cut off the blood flow and faint. I don't want anyone to faint here, but we're just going to hang. Hey, see if you can touch your toes. I'm so close to touching my toes, folks. I'm so close to touching my toes. I'm going to get there. You can touch your toes. Good for you. I'm proud of you. Captain's proud of you for joining these stretches. I know it's easy to not do these stretches. It's easy. It's really easy not to. It's not that hard. It's not that it's hard to do stretches. It's easy not to. All right, folks. Let me breathe in here. Slowly roll up as you breathe in, and when you get up to the top, roll those shoulders up, back and down. We're gonna do some shoulder rolls now, and back. 2, 3, 4. Add the elbows. 2, 3, 4. Full arm. 2, 3, 4. Bring it forward. 2, 3, 4. Get the elbows. 2, 3, 4. Full arm. 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, doesn't it feel good to get that blood moving? Take a quick break from your sitting there, not doing enough with your body. It's so easy to hurt yourself. You don't even realize it. You don't even realize it. So thank you all so much for joining me in these stretches. I appreciate you. I appreciate you being here, for joining me in those stretches. I know you did. I know you did. 50 points to all of you. Thank you so much for joining me on those stretches. I hope you enjoyed them as much as I did. But we're going to get back into our coding now, folks. Get back into our project. So what are we trying to do? I am on step 2 here. I'm on step 2. Part 2. Whoa! That's right, real paddywhack. Gotta hit him with the whoa, that's right. We're setting up a Unity project. Getting our assemblies there. So I've added an assembly. For anyone who's just joined us, we are working on building a crafting system here. I set up a testing assembly. And this has some tests in it. I want to also have my crafting system be a separate assembly. My goal is to make this crafting system independent of the Unity engine, and then the Unity engine will use that to render information on the screen. So the drag and drop system isn't part of the recipes. That's part of the Unity system. And so this is the part that is testable. So the system is testable. The actual playing of it, that's something you can play with, getting it in the Unity's engine to feel nice, but be maintainable and allow. So we're gonna start with shapeless recipes, and then maybe we'll move on and add some more interesting types of recipes on top of that. So one thing that you might do is you might have a shapeless recipe. And the first thought I have is when we create a shapeless recipe, like what are the ingredients for this thing, right? So let's make our shapeless recipe. Take in a list. I'm gonna actually make it take in an IEnumerable of items. So I need this idea of an item. Items, right? And so this is telling me, oh, I need to have a type called item. And I'm gonna make an interface, I think, called item. And for now, so I'm going to my crafting, so I'm gonna do file item. Why does it have an I in front of it? Because I'm going to make this an interface. Because I might have different types of items. I might do different things. I might have different information. But I know that I want to be able to make items in my crafting system. So I've created a class here. I'm gonna put it in my same namespace, Captain Coder crafting system. That said, maybe, you know, Captain Coder doesn't need to be in my crafting system per se. It could be part of something else. I'm not 100% sure. But we're gonna do public interface, item, Corfless, welcome back, Corfless, welcome back to the crew, welcome back, Corfless, I'm so happy you're you, Corfless, happy Monday, my friend, so nice to see you. How was your stream? I think you were streaming this morning. I think I saw you floating over there on my Twitch. I didn't get a chance to pop in this morning, but how are you doing? And Immortal Kid says, Captain Cooker. I said, maybe. So, like, one of my thoughts is, item feels like maybe it's not just, so this is my project called Crafting System, but you could have this idea, you know, maybe it's as a shapeless recipe of type T or something. That said, I'm going to create an interface called item. If I want to use this in separate projects, it probably doesn't need to be in Crafting System explicitly. That's all I mean. Streaming Atomic Heart. Yeah, I did see you streaming Atomic Heart earlier. I looked really fun. Corfless says, but also I got a feedback from supervisor. I got feedback from a supervisor on the intro. In short, get back to the old algorithm that I already implemented. Okay, interesting. Nameless CODR. Nameless co-doctor. Nameless CO drive. I don't know if that's what your name is, but I'm trying my darndest. Nameless co-doctor, welcome to the crew. Nameless, happy Monday, my friend. I almost said happy Saturday. Happy Monday, my friend. How are you on this beautiful Monday? I hope you're having a beautiful day. I hope you're having a beautiful day wherever you happen to be. Good morning from me to you. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Happy to have you aboard. Corporate says, bring the captain to American Idol. American Idol, folks. The captain sings the blues. Yeah, the captain. We gonna get a woe chain? Are we gonna satisfy that woe chain? Oh no, here it comes. Here it comes. Maybe. Just maybe. All right, so the idea here is my item, at the very least, my item's gonna have to have a name. All right, gonna have to have a name at the very least. Oh, that timer. Can you fight that it ticks up? Every time we get one, it ticks up, but every 60 seconds, it ticks back down just a little bit. We might not make it. I'm so sorry, Shady MMO Pug. Thank you for starting that, but I guess the people just were not woed enough. It was not woe enough.
Whoa.
Oh, Real Paddywhack with the save there. Thank you, Real Paddywhack, for contributing to society, my friend.
Whoa.
Got a redeem in there too. Real Paddywhack says, oh cool, I've seen some posts showing it off and I absolutely adore the whole triumphalist Soviet aesthetic the game has going for it. I missed whatever. Oh, this is Atomic Heart. Yeah. So my main thing here is, for now, my item's just gonna have a name. It might have additional properties later, but this is the thing that I'm gonna say an item has for now. Okay. So one of the things that I really want for my shapeless recipes, one of the things that I care about, one of the things that I want. Darkman said, sorry, lost connection. No worries, Darkman. No worries, it happens. All right, so we have this IEnumerable items. One of the things that I want to be true is that two shapeless recipes with the same set of items should be equal. Right. And in fact, remember when I said my shapeless recipe has an IEnumerable items, but it also has a type of container that it can be combined in. So we're also going to say IEnumerable iContainer. All right. What should we call this? Maybe not container. Darkness says, got any planning websites? I don't quite understand the question here. Let's look at my .cam again real quick, folks. My .cam. We had said crafting container. That was the type that we had. So we have crafting container. So new file, crafting container, like this. So we're gonna add one of these in here as well. And it's gonna be a crafting container on container. So different crafting containers can produce different types of things. So in my mind, maybe MM Poke like Trello, maybe. Yeah, so I'm not sure what Darkman's asking. Are you asking if I have a specific planning website? Or is there a website I can recommend for planning? I don't, so if you could clarify a little bit, I could try and answer it a little bit better. I'm not using any planning websites for this project. I have used Trello in the past. I've used Jira in the past. That's not really a website. That's like a whole framework for doing project tracking. And then Basecamp. That's another one I've used. Trello's really nice. GitHub has some stuff built into it. So on GitHub, let's go to GitHub. I'm not gonna be able to show this. I'm not logged in. But GitHub has projects that if you create projects, my projects are all private here, so I'm not logged in. But you can use projects, and this looks a lot like a Trello board, and I really like that. All right, so we have this idea of a crafting container. You know what, though? I think what I want to do is I want a crafting type here. Rather than the type of containers that can be combined in, I think crafting containers instead will know the types of things that can be crafted. And so in this case, rather than having a crafting container, I'm going to create an enumerated type called crafting type, or should it be recipe type? Recipe type. That's what we're going to do. Recipe type. So this would be something like weapon, armor, maybe blacksmith, food, that sort of thing. Yeah. So I think I want to have something called a recipe type. Recipe type. Public enum recipe type. And I kind of want this to be, so here's the thing, I want this to be extendable, so an enum's not quite the right thing here. So I think this needs to be a public class recipe type. And so if I were to take this library and drop it into another project, I should be able to generate additional recipe types. Is how I feel. So I have this thing that's a recipe type, and I have like this sort of a name associated with it and like an ID. So it needs to have some sort of way to identify itself. So here we're going to say that we're going to have, and recipe type might be a struct. I don't know. Can we extend struct as something that we can extend in C#? Let's try struct recipe type. So this is just sort of like some metadata. It's like a tag that gets stuck on something. It's almost like a string, but a little bit more advanced than a string. So public struct recipe type sub. Can I extend recipe? Can structs have inheritance? Look at that. You got inheritance in structs. That's fancy. That's so fancy. And some fancy schmancy stuff there. That's cool. All right, so we have a recipe type. In our crafting container, okay, so our crafting container will say like, it's gonna have a list of types of things it can make, but every single recipe, I think is gonna have exactly one type associated with it. So it's gonna have a crafting, what did I call it? A recipe type, like that. Okay, so this class has it's gonna have the items it takes to make it, the item, the type of recipe it is, and then an item, which is the result. So this thing will have a result associated with it. Does this kind of make sense? What do people think about this? And my brain's going like, well, maybe recipe type needs to be a struct, but I'm not 100% sure. Anymore says, if you're intending for it to be extended, why not an interface? Ah, great question. Great question. I know deep down inside that the hash code and I need this to be part of a key. So deep down inside, I know this needs to be part of a key, and so I'm only planning on certain pieces of it being extensible. And in fact, I only want the name to be extensible. So I actually think it might be a class, and so there's really only gonna be like one little virtual method on it. And maybe not, I might actually not make it be extensible. Instead, you have to like explicitly construct recipe types or provide a file. But the idea here is there's more information here than just an enum. I want in a different framework for people to be able to add additional types. So struct might be the right thing. It might not be a struct, actually. It might be something else. So it might be like a recipe type registry. I'm not 100% sure how it's gonna work yet. I got to think that through, but I know that I need to use this as a key in my recipes for looking up whether or not a recipe exists. So by putting my recipe type here, this recipe is going to end up being sort of registered on my recipe types, is how I'm thinking I'm going to do it. Darkman says, shared what my question meant in Discord, asked for help. Let's go take a look at that. Thank you, Dark Man. Let's go take a look. Oh, I clicked on. All right, Steam, don't open. Don't. Hang on, folks. Steam's about to open. I don't want to expose myself here. I accidentally clicked the wrong button. Click the wrong button. Here we go. Back here. Back to it. Ask for help. Website for planning like this. So Darkman wants a website. So you want to be able to like draw stuff on it. So Hammer has removed planks and fixed ladder. Trello might be a reasonable option for this. If you're, I honestly love GitHub's interface. Let me log into GitHub real quick, actually, just so I can show it off a little bit. Maybe I shouldn't. We're gonna wait on that. Do you want to be able to draw diagrams, Darkman? Former Canuck, thank you for the chat, my friend. Excalidra. Hand-drawn, look and feel collaborative, secure. This looks cool. Like a little diagramming tool. Ooh. Former Canuck, for your contributions. To society, my friend. 50 points to you. What a cool looking tool. Thank you so much for sharing this with us, Former Canuck. Let me know if I'm pronounced that correctly or not. Regnus has that emote's cracking me up. The eyes are going sideways. That's my brain. Going sideways. That's my brain often feels that way. So this was called, let me post a link here, perhaps this. Courtesy of Former Canuck. Thank you, Former Canuck, for that recommendation. It looks cool. I've never used it. Ace says, I pay for Miro for diagrams and whiteboarding, and I love it. Former Canuck has followed me. Former Canuck, I'm sorry, I'm so close to the mic. Former Canuck, I thank you for being here. Welcome to the crew. Oh, I'm so sorry, folks. I'm so sorry you had to be here for such a horrible song there. Former Canuck, I'm so sorry that song wasn't better for you. Everyone for being here to have to suffer through that. 50 points to all of you. 50 points to you for having to suffer. I hope I hope it makes up that a little bit, that damage to your ears, my friend. Happy Monday, Former Canuck. Thank you so much for being here. As you may or may not be aware, Captain Coder is a computer science educator. We are here learning, growing together. We are trying to build up a crafting system, and we're working through that together. So if you have any questions, programming related or otherwise, do not hesitate to ask. Absolutely happy to entertain questions, and backseat coding is encouraged. That's how I learn and grow. That's how we all learn and grow together. Corpus says that voices the midpoint of good and suffering. Yeah, sometimes it's all right, sometimes not so all right. Sometimes it's all right, but sometimes it's not all right. So this is sort of what I want with my recipe. So here's sort of something that I want to do. So we're gonna write a test for this. We're gonna think through, okay, what do I need my recipe to do? So I want to be able to have in part of the shapeless recipe, I'm gonna have IEnumerable item is gonna be ingredients. All right, so this is gonna be, for now I'm gonna do null here. This is gonna be a property of this. We have to be able to get the ingredients for it. Former Canuck says, I mainly know Java, but I have been wanting to learn C#, so no backseat coding. No worries, Former Canuck. You might be surprised how similar C# and Java are. And a lot of this stuff is conceptual, so don't hesitate to try. They're so similar. They're so similar. I've actually fallen in love. I've been doing Java for many, many years. I think I meet the legal definition of expert in Java. I don't know exactly what that means, but I've written my own Java virtual machine before, or not from scratch. I worked on a team that we implemented our own Java virtual machine specifically for running on a supercomputer. All right, so that is something I have worked on. So I think I'm pretty good at Java. I think I'm pretty good. I'm not the best, but I'm pretty good at Java. And I started doing C# and I was like, oh my god. Oh my goodness, C#. You have solved. Oh, I love you, C#. You make me so happy with all the things that you have that Java doesn't have. Although if you're on Java like 18 or something, it has a lot of the same things. But most places are using like Java 8. You're lucky if you're on Java 11. Draco the Boozler, welcome back to the crew. I'm so happy you have joined us. Draco, happy Monday, my friend. How are you today? Farmer Canuck says, I'm self-taught, so nothing that on purpose. Look, there's nothing wrong with being self-taught. There's absolutely nothing self-taught. I'm so happy you're here, my friend. Draco says, I'm good, and you. Can't you tell? The captain's doing well on this beautiful Monday. And Immortal says Java 8 is great, and that's where we are staying most companies. Yeah. Oh, actually, I was on Java 6 for the company I was working at. We were on Java 6. We weren't even on Java. I remember when Java 8 was coming out, and it was going to have lambdas in it. Oh, I wish we could be in Java 8. We were on Java 6. Yeah, Java 6. Those were the dark times. Those were the dark times. Darkman says, my internet is not good. I can't watch your stream, sorry, but I gotta go. That's okay, Darkman, I'm so sorry to hear that. It will be available in the archive, so if you want to go back and rewatch it, feel free to do so. And Immortal says, oof, Java 6 with the Guava functional interfaces. Yeah, I remember having to use Guava for everything. Had all sorts of cool stuff in Guava. You're like, Guava. And then, they started adding those things in. Okay. We're trying to define how the shapeless recipe works in our crafting system. And so the shapeless recipe is going to have a property ingredients. And so this is going to give us back an enumerable. It should match what we get here, but it should be sort of a copy of it. We don't want to be able to modify those ingredients directly. Okay. Then we should be able to get the recipe type. So recipe type, type here is bad because there's something called, there's a class called type in system, like this. So I think, I don't want to call it recipe type either. This is why I think recipe type is such a bad name. It's almost like recipe tag would be better. I hate this. I hate when I get stuck here. I'm gonna go with type for now. Look, folks. Captain Coder is a computer science programmer. The Captain Side is a programmer, not a wordologist. If we got any wordologists out there in the stream, please help me name these things better. Recipe. And Immortal Kid, you had like a suggestion earlier. Category. Recipe category. I like that. Recipe category. That's better than type. Now I don't have to overload the word type. Category. Real Patty Max, I think we should name it Katrina. Katrina. You know, Real Paddywhack, I think you might be right. I think you might be right. And Immortal Kid, for your contributions here. For giving me a good name, 50 points to you, my friend. 50 points for you. And Real Paddywhack. Real Paddywhack. Why does it keep doing it? Real Paddywhack 4 for making me laugh. 35 points to you, my friend. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. Make me smile. You know, I like to smile. And that smile is because of you, Real Paddywhack. Thank you so much. It says the biggest problem in computer science is that we're continually having to invent words for things that don't exist and we run out of words. This is why, you know, this is why we need wordologists to join the field. We need some wordologists to join the field. Real Paddywhack, I think that smile deserves a redeem whoa. A redeem whoa. You could do it.
Whoa.
Oh, we got a whoa. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the redeem. Yeah, I gotta get that to work on the, needed to be like a wild card or something so you can put it anywhere. I don't know. Look, I'm new to streaming. I've only been streaming for, you know, for 2 months now. A little bit, real, I guess 3 months at this point. I've really only seriously been, you know, I wasn't planning on streaming past the end of December, but it was just too much fun. It was just too much fun. This one is gonna be the result. And I actually, yeah, so this one's gonna be the result, the item that we get back. And part of me, yeah, so I think we're gonna implement this a little bit different. We have an item, and this is like the idea of an item, not necessarily the item itself. So we have this different idea of like the item and then an actual item. So in Minecraft, they have item and then they have item stacks. The item stack's the thing that can be in your inventory. Corpus says, all right, I think I will crash to bed. As always, Corpus, thank you so much for being here, my friend. Keep coding, keep growing, keep being the best you can be. Take care of yourself, my friend. Have a beautiful day, and you are welcome back anytime. Real Paddywhack says, honestly, it probably makes sense to keep it that way just in case people need to talk about it without actually triggering it. Oh, that's fair. You know what, Real Paddywhack? That's smart. How'd you get so smart, Real Paddywhack? Did you go to some kind of genius school? Can I get into that? Can I get into a genius school? Is that where you went? You went to school for real geniuses? Real Paddywhack, school for geniuses. Okay, so this is gonna be, we're gonna write a dumb test. We're gonna write a dumb test, but I wanted to demonstrate how you could write unit tests. So the idea is after I construct this thing, we have this idea of like preconditions and post conditions. So when I construct a shapeless recipe, the post condition is that the ingredients here will match this argument that was passed in. Ingredients. That they'll contain the same things. The post condition is that when you give it this type, the category will match. The post condition is that when you give it this result, the result will match. Real Patrick says, you only say that because you haven't seen how frequently I cause household appliances to catch fire. I think there's a school for that too. Ace says, Real Paddywhack has smart pills. Took the smart pills, that's right. All right, folks. So let's write a test here for our crafting, our shapeless recipe. So in my crafting test, once again, I'm gonna try to be a good coder. I don't want to be a bad coder. I want to be a good coder. So I'm gonna come in here and in my crafting system, I'm trying to make these namespaces match. And so we're gonna have crafting test here. I should create a folder inside of this called Captain Coder. And inside of that, I should have another folder called Crafting System. Like this, and then the test should essentially match the name. So it's gonna be shapeless recipe test. So I'm gonna copy this example. Can I paste that up here? Paste. Well, let me paste. Duplicate, and I'm gonna drag that bad boy in here. Yes, I'd like to move you. And then this, I'm gonna rename this file. This is gonna be our shapeless recipe test, like that. And then this is gonna be shapeless recipe. I moved the wrong thing, folks. Move the wrong thing, folks. Shapeless recipe, the test. Like this, and it's gonna be test constructor. Reddit test gonna test our constructor. I want this to be in this namespace, so I have access to this stuff. So we're gonna do namespace Captain Coder .crafting system, and you're gonna notice something interesting here. So we're using the same namespace. I should have access to it. I'm gonna ask Unity to compile this for us, and I'm gonna double check on the stream here. Unity Coder says, by the way, is the stream on low latency mode or the regular one? I have no idea what that is. I have no idea. Good question. I don't know what that means. Low latency is probably what I want, but I don't know for sure. Real Pettywhack in response to Ace says, is caffeine a smart pill? Because that might explain it. Ace says, nah, caffeine just lets you do dumb things faster. Real Pettywhack, because I crush G Fuel Ghost the same way my dad crushes Mountain Dew, which is to say a lot. When it says the stream is on low latency mode, is there something I can do? Is that what we want? Or is that what we not want? Latency to broadcasters around 2 seconds for me. Oh, it's how delayed it is from me to you. Is that what the low latency mode would be? Unique Coder says, it feels like I got a 30-second delay. Mooney says, it's what you want if you interact with chat. Refresh the player, Unity Coder. Yeah, so I'm looking at my stream. It looks like a little bit ago there was a little bit of hiccup. I didn't lose frames, but the bit rate dropped. And so I imagine that is somehow related. But yeah, let me know if that fixes it for you. I would like for it to be as low as possible. Mooniz, thank you for double checking that for us. Thank you for double checking it for us. What does this say here? Does my stream live? It doesn't tell me. I don't know. Is there a way I can check what my latency is? I don't know. Mooniz says, I sometimes get small hiccups where it lags, so delay increases a little with each hiccup. Gotcha. If there's something I can do on my end to fix that, I'd be happy to give it a shot. I think it's going to be part of my Unity settings, though. No, not Unity. It'd be part of my OBS settings, and so I'd have to change it for next time. Because I did get several hiccups today. Yeah, so earlier I noticed there was a little. I didn't drop any frames, but it looked like there was an increase. So right here it says 47 frames skipped due to encoding lag. So 47 skipped frames. So that could be related. I don't know exactly what it is. Game co-op. Welcome to the crew, Game Co-op. I'd like to welcome you to Captain Coder's Academy. Welcome aboard, welcome Game Co-op. Game Co-op, thank you so much for the follow, my friend. Happy Monday, welcome aboard, happy to see you here. If you're not aware of it, Captain Coder is a computer science educator. Captain Coder's me, by the way. Computer science educator, so do not hesitate to ask questions. We're trying to learn and grow together. We have an issue here. It's saying I can't. This makes sense. I have a little compiler error, folks. I have a compiler error in my shapeless recipe. It's not showing up here. Reload. Let's see if we can get this to reload. Real Patty says the stream's been running flawlessly on your garbage rural internet connection. I'm glad to hear. Not that you have a garbage rural internet connection, but I'm glad to hear it's running well. We upgraded my system maybe a month or two ago to a better system here. Why is this? My errors aren't showing up here. Something's gone wrong. Oh, I know what's gone wrong. Project settings, editors, editor. I know what's going on. External. Where do I find it? It's not project settings. It must be in preferences. External. Why is VS Code not here? Why is VS Code not here? All right, folks, we gotta explore my file system just for a moment off screen. Bear with me, folks. Bear with me. If you please bear with me, please bear with me. Real paddywhack's a bear, you gotta grab on to real paddywhack and bear with me. I think real paddywhack's smarter than the average bear. Was that you or was that someone else? I think I remember you saying you're smarter than the average bear and that you're a bear and that you're gonna steal our picnic baskets. Program files. VS Code. I'm fine. Hang on, folks. Where's VS Code located? VS Code. Why can't I find you? Why can't I find you? VS Code. Why aren't you showing up for me? Why open file location? Hang on. Hang on. Visual Studio Code is in my... It's like not actually installed. Why is this? Hang on. I want to, it's doing something really weird here, folks. Let me see if I restart Unity real quick. Let me see if this will fix it. It's not connected to VS Code properly, so I'm not getting the correct errors. Sorry, I missed some chat here. PepexX, Real Paddywhack says 47 frames on a 2-hour stream doesn't sound bad. No, usually no, it's not bad at all. That's less than 2 seconds. Unix, for some reason my advanced settings had low latency mode off. Ah, interesting. It says sometimes Twitch just buffers randomly and you can put it back in a couple seconds. Yeah, every now and then it gets a little bit off. If I'm watching a stream, it'll do that too. It's a Twitch thing, I believe, but things that like that put you a bit behind real time. Yes. Yes, and I'm doing a little bit of a refresh. We'll get you. There's also, I have a plugin that can actually play, will play Twitch videos at a slightly faster speed until it catches up. And I think that's really cool. Travis says, Captain's saying he's not a game dev. Yeah, his Unity Hub is full of game projects. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. This is me just playing around with stuff. Look, it's just me playing around with stuff. That's what I'm saying, like, I haven't really done any Unity. I've hacked around with Unity for a while, but I'm nothing serious. Alright, so we are trying to get VS Code. Why are you not showing up here? Please! Please show up! Alright, we gotta go find this. Please, VS Code, I'd like to use you. Why are you hiding from me? Oh, VS Code, why are you hiding from me? VS Code is hiding from me. VS Code, you are hiding. I don't know why you are hiding. I gotta find you. Oh, VS Code, you are hiding. VS Code, you are hiding. Please don't hide from me no more. It's like not detecting VS Code. It really wants me to use Visual Studio. Which would be fine, but I really want to use VS Code. I don't want my students to be trapped in it. That's basically what it is. Writer, yeah. Elites, is it Elites Tomper or Elite Stomper? Or is it Elites Tomper? Elite Stomper, hello, welcome to Captain Coder's Academy, my friend. Do you have the VS plugin installed? Do I have to install a plugin? I swear, I've never had to do that before. Is there a plugin I have to install? It was working fine with 2021. Yes, you should have the plugin. It was working with 2021. Do I have to have Elite Stomper? The second one, just Elite Stomper. Yes, I am a teacher. I work at a school that does ages 10 to 14, computer science programming. Or you should install it. So Munez, is it a plugin that I have to install here? Or a plugin in Unity? It's in the package manager. Okay. Package manager. Unity Visual Studio Code Editor. Oh, fascinating. How is this just not installed by default? Wow, now I know. But yes, Elite Stomper, Captain Coder is me. I am Captain Coder. I'm a computer science educator, computer programming educator. I teach programming, computer science related classes. And as such, feel free. Whoa, we found it. Feel free to ask me any questions, programming related or otherwise. I'll do my best to answer. This stream, the whole reason I stream is learning to code and grow and learning new things. We are learning and coding and growing together, and you, my friend, can be a part of that too. Do I need to restart now? This is horribly annoying. I'm gonna close this. It's in, there you go. Redeem woe. It's in the package manager. Probably restart Unity. The reason it's not giving me the errors in VS Code. Elite Stomper says, "Oh, that's cool, man. I have been trying to learn how to code and cannot get it. My ADHD gets me every time. That can happen. I believe anyone can learn to code. Det Lion or DT Lion. Let me know if I'm pronouncing it right. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Det Lion, Det Lion. 16% easily switch to Linux and no more Visual Studio. Yeah. So believe it or not, my preferred. We're gonna get no politics here. But I'm gonna say that Detroit Lion. Oh, Detroit Lion, maybe. But just so you guys know, my preferred operating system actually is Linux. I just happen to be on Windows. Once again, because my students, it's me relearning how to use Windows. So a lot of my students use Windows. All right, so shouldn't I get, VS Code, we found you. Oh, VS Code, you're here. Let's regenerate those project files. It's so good to know that you're here. VS Code, we got you. In our, there we go. So what I was gonna ask, we have a compilation error here, folks. We have a compilation error here. Does anyone know why we have a compilation? Let's see, come on, show me that compilation error. Oh, we got Elite Stomper. Thank you for the follow, my friend. Elite Stomper, I'm happy that you are here. Welcome to the crew, Elite Stomper. As you heard, Captain Coder is a computer science educator. Do not hesitate to ask questions. I love when people ask questions. You can try and boozle me, but don't bamboozle me. Happy Monday to you. Det says Detroit Lion. Yeah, I am an embarrassed Lions fan. I think my brother's a Detroit Lions fan. That's sports ball, right? That's a sports ball game. All right, so we have an error here, folks. Mooniz, you got it. Recipe category is a struct. So for now, we're just gonna say default. There's no such null. There's no such thing as null for structs. You have a default though. So we're just gonna go with default for now. All right, so we were in the process here of trying to write a unit test, getting our assembly set up. Okay. At least I'm struggling with classes in C#. Elite Stomper, let me ask you, do you have any programming background or are you just starting to learn programming? Because I have, Dremels, no, not unit test again. Because I have some recommendations. If you're brand new to programming, I have some good recommendations for C#. So the first recommendation I like to give is, I should change the order here. But this one's not going to help you with classes. But I am writing a workbook. I do have a workbook. It's an I can't get to it. Interactive online workbook here. Adventures in C#. This doesn't talk about classes yet. We haven't quite gotten there. I haven't quite written the part on classes, but this will get you the basics of coding in C#. I use this with my students. It's targeted for younger folks, so it may not be your cup of tea. The next one is the C# Player's Guide. This is the best learn to program book. It's right here on my desk. It's right here if I put my doc cam on. The C# Player's Guide. This is Captain Coder's Desk. This book is so good for the beginning, for absolute beginner programmers learning C#. I recommend this book. Start if you're starting out programming. If you're not starting out programming, if you're just learning C#, this book's fantastic. If you already know the basics, the first 14 chapters, you're gonna blast right through them, and then you're gonna get to class part 2. Part 2, level 15, is all about different types of data structures, different types of things in C#. So much recommend this book. This book is about $30. So if that's cost prohibitive for you, that's a little bit cost prohibitive. There's another free one. There's another book that I think is also quite good. Not as good as the C# Player's Guide. Not as good as the C#, but the C# Yellow Book is a fantastic resource as well to get you up and running in C#. All right, so those are my recommendations. If you're just starting out trying to learn to program, those are some great places to begin and work. My book, maybe not so much. If you want to check out my workbook, I'd love to get some feedback. But it is targeted for young students. My students have done really well with it. Real Paddywhack, so sorry you got timed out there. Maybe I should take the all caps off. Elite sources. I've tried following Udemy courses. Me personally, are you following Udemy courses for C# or game development? I always recommend learning a little bit of programming first away from it. Ace says, might want to think about different ways to phrase that because no politics is a good way to make folks from marginalized backgrounds feel unsafe because of default siding with the status quo. Being more specific helps. Ace, good points. Thank you for calling me out on that. I appreciate that. I was trying to make a joke. I appreciate that. I don't. So maybe what I should say is no controversial topics, maybe. And more than anything, I was trying to make a joke about Linux, Microsoft, Apple. I appreciate you calling me out. I really do. I hadn't considered that, and I don't want to make anyone feel marginalized. Thank you for calling me out on that. I appreciate it. Mooney says 80% cat Paddywhack. It should be only 10 seconds. I'm so sorry, Paddywhack. No production code without unit testing. Well, in the perfect world. In a perfect world. Real better. Always love learning the rules by running face first into them. Elite Stomp says, I understand variables and some basics. You got to keep building those skills up for sure. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. I'd be happy to do some live demos, assuming I'm not like right in the middle of something. Once again, Ace, thank you so much for calling me out on that. Really helpful. I don't always know if I'm being offensive. And so I try, this is a place of joy and happiness. I want everyone to feel welcome, feel comfortable here. And I'll try and do better in the future. Thank you. So please call me out if I'm doing something that's not the best. Okay, so we're gonna write a little test here. This is gonna be kind of a dumb test, but just to give you an example of a more realistic test. Also, we need to set up our assemblies a little bit better. So over here in my testing here, I created this shapeless recipe test. So what's gonna happen here though is you'll notice if I try and make a shapeless recipe equals new shapeless recipe, and I gotta give it some things. I can do null, default, null. It's telling me, hey, I have no idea what you are talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about here. Elite says, I'm learning C# training that teaches some starting C# stuff. Then it moves into working with Unity and C#. I do highly recommend. I usually say spend 20 to 40 hours just doing some terminal stuff in C# to learn the basics. So the basics is going to take you probably somewhere between 20 and 40 hours to get to where you have a little bit of an understanding of it, and like another 40 hours to like get even a little bit deeper. What's happening here? Why can't I instantiate a shapeless recipe here? If we put these side by side, I am in the same namespace, am I not? If I'm in this namespace, I should be able to access it. Why can't I do this? Does anyone know what's going on here? What this error is? The type or namespace shapeless recipe could not be found. Are you missing a using directive or an assembly reference? The compiler is our friend. The compiler tries to tell you when you're doing stuff wrong and it tries to push you and nudge you in the right place. We're missing an assembly reference. We're missing an assembly reference. When it says, would there be a better way to rephrase no politics in a way where people would feel inclusive but still stay away from the most of the subjects that stir up emotions? Yeah, this is, I have the same question. As I would like to have a nice stream and make everyone feel welcome, but it should be focused on the stream content. I think maybe, Ace, correct. Let me ask, would this be a reasonable alternative saying, this is a positive stream, trying to say like positivity. This stream is designed for positivity. A DeForce versus never thought no politics was a controversial statement though. Well, so I understand what Ace is saying. Here we go. Now we're getting a little bit into it. Is that could be saying that, for a group that's marginalized, they might feel that is an attack on them because we don't want to discuss the heavy topics, right? So I think something I might, and the answer is I don't think this is the right forum to do that. And that's one of the reasons I put that there. But maybe it's just better that I don't joke about it. Ace, let me know what you think. I'd love to have your opinion if you're still around. It seems like you might have stepped away. But yeah, I'd be really interested on how to navigate that better. I like that. Let's keep it positive and inclusive. I like that. I appreciate that. Keep it positive and inclusive. I like that. Thank you for the suggestion. Okay, so we have a shapeless recipe. It's saying missing the assembly. And so the way an assembly definition works is I have this assembly definition here for my crafting test. So when you set up a testing assembly, we need to be able to reference our main assembly. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually add another assembly definition to this folder here. So this is my Captain Coder crafting system. So I'm going to go to my Captain Coder. And then in my test here, I have my crafting system tests. And my Captain Coder crafting system, I'm going to add an assembly here. And so I come down, you can do this from the command line. But I'm going to select create assembly definition. This would be crafting system. Moon says, but keep it inclusive. We have to include people using JavaScript. Ooh, the horror. That's right. No, I write. I'm like, I've done JavaScript on the stream before, but JavaScript, there's some pain there for sure. All right, so I've created just by dropping this here. I now have an assembly. Everything that's in this folder or a subfolder of this folder, I have it. And I actually want to put this in my top level folder, I believe, Captain Coder here. My crafting system like this. Real Patty Wax says, I feel like it might not be the right framing for it, but maybe something like be sure to check your privilege bias at the door. Be more in the spirit of what you're looking for. Good question. Yeah, I'm not sure. So I think one of the things I want to focus on is like staying on topic in computer science and being careful not to drift too far away from the topic. It's fun to have a little side discussions. But I think it comes back to like, what is the purpose of the stream? It's learning coding, learning to grow, and in a lot of ways, being inclusive. I like that. I really do. One of my biggest things is, eventually I kind of want to use my, if I didn't think this was going to grow in as much popularity as it has, but one of the things that I want to do with the stream is really promote young women coding. That's one of my big things. Girls Who Code is one of the greatest programs, and I like volunteering and helping out with Girls Who Code. I would like to try and find a way to promote them more through here. And then Black Girls Code is another group that I absolutely love. How do we get those in there? DeForce says, no politics has been synonymous with no drama, no controversial talks for a while. No need to think too deep about it. Yeah, so maybe I shouldn't think too deep. Maybe I should just switch it to no drama. No drama might be better. Ace, what do you think of a no drama? Is that better than no politics? Or maybe keep it civil. Maybe keep it civil might be better. That said, I don't want to be talking specific. Moon is no drama, then what am I doing here? I know. I think that, Now I'm getting super off topic here. Getting super off topic. But it's because I'm so interested in this. I think it's important to do that work. No hate, no drama. I love no hate, no drama. I like that. No hate, no drama. I like that a lot too. Okay, so now we have a crafting system assembly, and this one's our crafting test assembly. We're gonna select this assembly. And in this assembly, we have to specify which assemblies we reference. So up here, assembly references, we're gonna add in, this is the wrong one. We're gonna add in our assembly. And so you can find it from the drop down here. So crafting systems, like this. Alternatively, I could have dragged it in there like that. And then finally, we just click apply, and now it's gonna rebuild and say, oh, now I have a reference to this. Sir Peanut says Unity. Oh my. Sir Peanut, hello my friend. We are in Unity. We're doing some unit testing. So that's how you connect your project assembly with your test assembly. And so we've attached that there. Sir Peanut says, hello, we have come a long way from the blog app. Sir Peanut was here. We were just talking about JavaScript, Sir Peanut. You're right, we have come a long way. This is far different. This is far different than what I was doing previously. Sir Peanut's referring to, if anyone wants to know what Sir Peanut's referring to, in the archive, many moons ago, we'll go to our playlist here. We were doing, where are we created the world's worst blog in vanilla JavaScript and Firebase. This was me exploring, okay, can I do this? Because I'm teaching a web development class, and I was going like, this might be fun to explore this idea. So I made the world's worst blog a while ago. And so Sir Peanuts, welcome back, my friend. It's been a while. It's been a while since the captain saw you, but my students asked me to teach a Unity class. So I started learning Unity at the end of December. So welcome back. Let's see here. Polly Trave says, female coders Lens is a community in Austria for women who code. If you want to support women who code, you could support them. So one of the things that is interesting is I'm stuttering here. On Twitch, you can like set up a charity to contribute to. I'm sad that they don't have girls who code and black girls code. Do you know if female coder Lens is one of the options on Twitch? But thank you for the recommendation. I'm gonna forget that, but I don't want to. If someone, you can join the Discord. If you could post it in my recommendations, I would be so grateful for that, so that I remember to go back to it. If someone could post it in my recommendations, I would absolutely love that. Let's see here. Ace says, yeah, the issue is that you don't want a situation where people feel like they can't call out casual, accidental racism, homophobia, and sexism when it happens, because then all of the marginalized folks feel unwelcome. Yeah. I want people to call it out, and I'm going to do my best to call it out as well. Feel like they can't say anything about it and just leave instead. I'm going to reach out to my network for resources on addressing this language problem and then post what I find in different. I thank Ace. Ace, thank you so much for that. Real Patty Wax says, I love initiatives like that. I'd say there should be one for trans women, but evidently we don't really need all that much help getting into programming. Ace, Polytrap says they have a website. Awesome. Ace says, cause like we all say stuff that is not great by accident. Exactly. This is why I say, call me out. This is why I always say, if I'm pronouncing your username wrong and it bothers you, let me know. I want to pronounce it correctly. I want people to feel welcome here. I want them to feel comfortable. I was kind of bullied in elementary, middle school quite a bit. And it's one of the reasons I wanted to become a teacher was, can I make, can I create an awesome experience for young people? That's something I want to do. Muniz responds to Ace saying, thank you. I'm interested in hearing more about this and what you find out. One should always speak up about such issues. Yeah. Ace says, we basically run games industry. Real Pedovac says, for real, it's kind of scary to be honest. Elite Stomper, I think it should just be girls that code, with having one that is called Black Girls Code. They are girls too. LOY separate them, all humans and should all be treated the same. It's just two different programs. So they're both marginalized groups. Black Girls Code particularly targets communities, a different type of communities than Girls Who Code. Girls Who Code is usually more about getting in schools and having programs for Girls Who Code. Black Girls Code tends to do stuff out in the community. So they actually do a lot of different stuff. All I was saying is those are two awesome charities, awesome programs. Real Petty says, honestly, it's nice when you find someone who's so good at leaving their ego at the door that inspires others to do the same. I agree. Okay. So we were writing unit tests, folk. We were trying to write a unit test here. It's an intersectional issue. That's right, Real Paddywhack. It affects both in different ways, in similar and different ways. It's about how do we get people involved in that. A big part of it is there's both a gender gap and a racial gap in computer science and technology. And I think the way to address those two things is actually a little bit different. That said, I don't know how to address those things, and I leave it up to people who know better than me. But I like to contribute if I can to those. So we're gonna write a little test here. We have our preconditions, we have our post-conditions. So our shapeless recipe here, the post-condition we have is that after we provide these values, these getters, these properties should be populated by whatever was passed in. So we're gonna do that now. So we have to create an IEnumerable. So it turns out there's a lot of different IEnumerables. We need a way to make these things. So I'm going to make a concrete item. All right. So you might do something called like a mock item at some point. So we have an item here. I'm going to create a new one just called item. And it's going to implement our interface. Public namespace captain coder.crafting system. And then we do public class item implements item like this, and we're gonna do that. Here we go. Item does not implement interface name. So this is required to implement this here. And this thing for now, when we get it like this, it's gonna have a little thing that says not implemented. All right. So in our constructor for item, I want to do public item. It's going to take in a name like this, and it's just going to set name equal to name, and we're going to make this an auto property. So if I just do a get here, this creates an auto property that has it. Real Patty Whack says, like the kinds of issues black women face in these spheres isn't just a combination of issues that black men and white women face, it's something other than their sum of parts. Ace says, Real Paddywhack ++, give Real Paddywhack an increment. You're right. Are you boosting what I said or just making another JavaScript joke? Can it be both? All right, so we create a little item here. Polytrave says, and let me know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Is it Polytrave or is it Polytrave? Could you maybe teach us one day how to make C# classes and exceptions? Really struggling and needing it for school. I would love to teach you how to make C# classes. That's a topic I'd be happy to cover. In fact, we're making a class right now. We're in the process of making a C# class at this very moment. So let's check this out. I'm making a class right now. I just created a class called item. I have a constructor here. And so what I've done is I've said, well, an item, what is, so a constructor, this is saying, how do we make this thing? How do we create this idea? So a class, the word class here is short for classification, and it's saying it's a classification of data. It's how we want to represent sort of like an abstract idea using data. And so for my item, I've said, well, if you want an item, if you want to create an item, you have to give it a name. That's the only requirement we have right now. And then our interface for this says, well, an item, we have access to a name. So we know an item has a name and we can get that back. Alithana, let me know if I'm pronouncing that right. A class for creating a class, like a factory, a class for creating a class. Yeah, we could do a factory. This one's not a factory, this is just a very simple class. So in this case, I can create a class now. So here, over here in my other file, so I have my item class here. I'll put it side by side so we can see them at the same time. So I have my item class here. This is the constructor. I can actually now make one of these. I can say, well, maybe I have an item, and I'm gonna call this dat. We're doing recipes. So I'm gonna actually call this one wood. Equals new item, wood, like this. So now, and in C#, you don't have to put the name of the class on both sides. In this case, I just have to put, because I have item here, I can just put new on this side. And that says, call this constructor and run this code here to initialize. The constructor is how we initialize a class. Alithana, you're saying if you're teaching a class about making class, this stream is like a factory. That's a good joke, my friend. Okay, so right here, I've created a variable called wood, and it happens to reference this new chunk of data, and this is how we initialize that data. And I now have the ability to access this property name. So I could do something like console.writeLine, debug.log wood.name. And so I can actually look up the value that is stored in this property. I have a get only on this, so I'm not allowed to set the value. So this is what we would call an immutable object. So I couldn't change the name to something else like Bob. It's gonna say, hey, by the way, this thing only has a getter, and this is called encapsulation. Once we create this object, no one can mess with it outside of this class unless we give them permission to sort of touch these things. So in this case, our constructor creates a variable. No, our constructor creates some data. Our variable references that data. I hope that answered, is helpful, Polytrave. Dramulk says, funny you mention a factory. There is a pattern you can follow in Unity when it comes to spawning objects. Yeah, it's the factory pattern. It's a factory pattern. It's definitely not Unity specific. Some might say it's Java specific, but that's also not true. That's a little Java joke. It's a little Java joke there. So this is creating that. Polly said, thank you, dude. Love you so much right now for this next one. Of course. This is why I love. Thank you, Polytrave. You know what? Thank you. Thank you for asking. 50 points to you for asking such a good question. Can you explain how class works? This is how we make a class. Okay, so the interesting thing here is I'm trying to make another class called shapeless recipe, and it's covered here by my chat a little bit. But shapeless recipe, the idea with shapeless recipe is that we have a list of ingredients. I'm calling it an IEnumerable. This is just something that you can store 0 or more things that happen to be an item in it. And so one option for an IEnumerable would be a list of items. So we're gonna instantiate a list here. It's gonna be called our ingredients. And it's gonna be equal to a new, and just like we did before, there's a constructor for list that looks like this. This is gonna create a new list, and this, anytime you see the keyword new, it says go into memory, generate some new data, and initialize it. For us, we would like to initialize it such that it has a single wood in it. And in fact, let's do 2 wood. We're gonna do 2 wood. Oh, let's go with 3 wood. What do you guys think? 3 wood is gonna make us what? What item should 3 wood make? Anyway, if we have 3 wood, what item should we make out of it? Or should we add more options to this? What should we do? Instead of 3 wood, let's add a second option here. A boat. 3 wood makes a boat. I like it. So we're gonna have a boat here. And so we're gonna create a boat is another item. This one's gonna be a boat. Okay, so now I have 2 chunks of data in my memory. One's called wood. Oh, sorry. One has the name wood, one has the name boat, and we have 2 variables, wood and boat, and they reference it. Okay, so for my recipe, what I've said for my shapeless recipe, to construct a shapeless recipe, I have to give it an enumerable, IEnumerable of ingredients. List happens to be one of those. So I can pass in here and say, well, here's my, and I'm gonna rename this to be boat ingredients. Okay, so I have boat ingredients here. All right, this thing here, we'll figure that out in a second. The second one is saying, well, what type of recipe is it? Okay, so we have to have a category for it. Let us open up our recipe category. Recipe, oh, I called it recipe type. I need to rename this file. Bear with me, folks. Everyone grab your bear. We're gonna bear with Captain Coder. Recipe category. All right. And for category, I just kind of want to have a name on it as well. So we're gonna do public, a public string category. So this is we're gonna have another name on this. Maybe we have tag, but this is gonna be a name as well. And this one's gonna have a get on it. And this one, again, it works an also awful lot like item, but we're gonna treat them a little bit different. They get used in different contexts. So in this case, we're gonna string name like this. Hang on. I don't want this one to be a property. I want this to be a field. Public read-only name. And then when we initialize it, we're gonna set name equal to name like this. Okay, so when we create a recipe category, we can give it a name as well. Okay, so structs are a little bit different than class, but it's a lot like a class. Polytrade, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the crew, my friend. Happy to have you here. Welcome aboard, Polytrade. Thank you so much for the follow. So to make this, I actually need a recipe category. Recipe category couldn't be found. Oh, I gotta rebuild. Gotta get Unity to rebuild this for me. The Gypster says, let's implement a graph structure real quick. Yeah, let's implement a graph real quick. Why is this complaining? Did I do something silly? Recipe category. Is this? Hang on. Do I have a? No. These are phantom errors, folks. Let's see if we can get those. I'm gonna have to reload Unity. Reload VS Code real quick. All right, so we have our bone. One sec. F sharp's gonna pop up here in a moment when I need to uninstall this F sharp extension. It's driving me crazy, folks. This F sharp solution explorer driving me crazy because it always thinks anytime I'm doing C sharp stuff, it thinks I'm in F sharp because they both run on .NET framework. Okay, so I have my boat ingredients. I have a boat, and then my recipe category. I'm gonna create a new recipe category, and the category is gonna be just construction, maybe construction equals new recipe category construction. This, and again, because I have the type defined on the left, it's recommended not to put it on the right. That's just a C# quirk. In Java, you typically don't do that. All right, so then we're gonna say, well, this recipe, it's gonna take in and we're gonna name this boat recipe to have a good name. So boat ingredients, construction, and then the result, if we look at the constructor here, the result is our boat. So we're defining a shapeless recipe, which takes in 3 wood. If you give it 3 wood, it's gonna produce a boat, and this falls into anything that can do construction. We can do it. Maybe we should change. What if we change this construction to woodwork? Because we're working with wood, right? No, that refact now. Woodwork. What do we think of that? Kind of like that. Okay. So you could pretend that could be like a skill you have, something along those lines, but it's going to specify what type of container. So we've built this boat recipe using a constructor. So how many instances? So anytime you see the keyword new, we create a new instance of data. Moon has asked, how much wood would a woodchuck if a woodchuck could chuck iron? Ooh, that's an interesting question, my friend. I know how much wood a woodchuck could chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood. That's as much wood as a woodchuck could chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood. But I don't know how much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck iron, because that's just hard. All right, so one of the things I want to check here in my unit test, I'm testing the post condition of calling this constructor. So what I would like to be the case is after I call this constructor, if I get these ingredients back, so my boat recipe specifies these 3 properties. Right, specifies these 3 properties. And so I should be able to do something like boat recipe dot ingredients. And this is going to give me back, I want it to give me back an IEnumerable that's the same, that contains the same elements as my ingredients. And so I want to assert, I want to do an assertion because we're doing a test. We're going to assert that our ingredients has a, not equal to, but it contains the same things. 1 sec. I need to import link using system.link. All right. I want to assert that these have the same, all of the same items in them. So I could do dot equals boat ingredients, but that's not going to be quite right. I actually want to check that they contain the same elements. The order doesn't matter. So this is an interesting test because the order doesn't matter, but the number of things in there matters. So this test's not quite right. I want to check that they have the same items in them. So this test isn't going to work. This checks that they are the identical, that they contain the identical thing in the identical order. So I'm going to have to do something a little bit special here. Okay. So my goal here is I want to check. I can do the following. Assert that first it has the same number of elements in it. So my boat recipe should have dot count. My boat recipe should have 3 items as an ingredient. And then I'm going to iterate through. I'm going to iterate through all of those items and check, are all of those the wood item? Okay. So I'm going to do for each. This is where the IEnumerable is interesting. IEnumerable lets us iterate through a thing. So we're going to say for each item, ingredient, in boat recipe dot ingredients. We're going to loop through this here. We want to say, well, they should all be wood. All 3 of them should be wood. We're going to say assert true, assert R equal. In this case, this is okay. We're going to assert that ingredient is a wood ingredient. So we check that there are 3 elements in it. Then we check those 3 elements, are those wood? In this case, it probably wouldn't have mattered if we checked R equals because we only have wood. But what if we had wood, iron, wood? The order shouldn't matter. We should be able to get iron, wood, 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 iron, or wood, iron, wood. Any of those should matter. So I actually think I want to make this more interesting from a constructor. So we're going to add in an item, nails. You got string, rope. You don't want to make a boat out of string. New rope. All right, so we need 3 wood and a rope to make this happen. 3 wood and a rope. Does that make sense? 3 wood and a rope. All right. Elite Summer says, just got the players C# Players Guide. You're welcome. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I think it's a fabulous book. We are coming up on 90 minutes here since our last break. So I'm going to go another 5 or so. I'm going to see if we can get this test written. Maybe we can implement it. I'm not 100% sure. Before we take our break, I forgot to mark when we took when we finished the break, but it was at, what was that like? I took the break at 30 minutes, hour 30 minutes, and 15 minutes later. Yeah, so we got like 15 minutes before we got to take another break. But I'm going to be going for about another hour. So we'll take a break, we'll come back, we'll do some stretches, and we'll see if we can wrap up a little bit. So our test constructor here, gonna take these things. So it's so this should actually have 4 now, right? 4. And we gotta kind of, we can't just say, oh, are they all wood? We need to maintain that we have these items, but the order doesn't matter. Any suggestions? Elite Summer says, so this is for a crafting zone. What's the item that's being crafted? In this case, it's producing a boat. So our constructor here, if we look over on the right side, our definition for a shape list, we take in a list of an IEnumerable. We take in the set of ingredients, the type of recipe it is, and then the result. So in this case, you take in 3 woods and a rope, and it should produce a boat because that's what we've defined the constructor to say. Right, so we're writing a test saying like, does our shapeless recipe meet the conditions? Does it meet the assertions? What are the assumptions we're making when we use this thing? So we're looping through here. We need it to be able to check these, that it has these things. The order shouldn't matter. The order shouldn't matter. This will definitely currently fail. That's all right, Alitana. That's exactly right. If we run this test right now, it's not, I haven't finished writing my test. I haven't finished my test. You're right that it's gonna fail right now. Or it should. My mind would be a little bit blown if it did not fail just yet. All right, so let's run all. Sure enough, it fails. The crafting system, it's saying that if we go down here, it tells us, oh, value cannot be null. Yeah, we haven't implemented this yet. We have not implemented it yet. But we want to, before I implement it, I just wanted to talk a little bit about, well, what are the assumptions? What does this constructor do? What are our post conditions for this thing here? And one of the post conditions that's not necessarily obvious is that ingredients returns an IEnumerable of the items necessary to create this, to perform this recipe. The order is undefined. So the order that you get these back is not necessarily the same order that you got them in. So that's sort of something that may or may not be immediately obvious from looking at this. But how do we test that the order doesn't matter? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a list here. I'm gonna create a list here, not called boat ingredients. This is gonna be expected ingredients. And I'm gonna change the order on this. I'm gonna say this should have a wood, rope, wood. It shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter the order. So I can't just do a dot equals on these. Instead, I'm gonna loop through. I'm gonna loop through in the following way. I'm gonna say, well, assert that we contains expected contains my ingredient. This isn't quite enough to do it. I'm gonna assert that it contains this ingredient, and then I'm gonna remove that ingredient. Expected dot remove this ingredient. So remove will remove. Let's read the. Oh, is there no documentation there? That's annoying. I'm 90% sure remove is only gonna remove the first time it encounters one of these. So should the items have a quantity of how much wood is enough wood, or is each mention of wood like 50 wood and you're using 150 wood? So this is specifically saying that you need 3 of this item. So in my case, I haven't specified that you need a specific amount. Instead, I'm saying that you need 3 wood for this one to work, and I've done that by specifying wood. I hope that answered your question, Elite Stomper. Good question. So we're gonna remove this, and we're gonna keep checking here. Expected other. And this may not be the best test, but this will get us there. All right, so expected wood, rope, wood. This should come through. Keep checking it right. And then the last thing at the end is we need to assert that our expected list, when we get through this, should be empty. Contains expected.count, no parentheses on that, is 0. Alatina says, your test they're going to trash. Good question, Alatina. That's one of the things. It shouldn't. So the idea is we don't want it to trash it. And so we got to be careful with how this works. We actually kind of need to make a copy of our ingredients to do that. Exactly, Alatina. Great observation and great questions. It's going to trash your recipe. We're going to try not to. And in fact, we want it to not do that. So we should actually be able to do this twice. So I'm going to write a little function here. Inline function, void test ingredients. Like this. Test ingredients. And then I'm going to do this twice. It should work twice. Test ingredients. Test ingredients. It should work twice. It should work identically both times. Right? So I should be able to do it twice, and it should pass both times. All right. Our other conditions are a little bit simpler. We want to check that the item result and the category are equal. So this is sort of like the complicated part of this constructor. The more easy one is assert are equal. We want our boat and our boat recipe dot result to match, and we also want to assert that are equal our construction. I need to rename that, and our boat recipe dot category. So this will be our woodwork category. All right, so we have this test written now. And let's see if it compiles. It's gonna fail. We know it's gonna fail because we haven't implemented this at all. And so if we run this, it's definitely gonna fail. Okay. And what we get back here is kind of interesting. It says expected captain coded item but was null. And if we go to this line here, it's saying, well, I went and ran this test. And when I got to this line, your assertion was wrong. You asserted that it should be this boat, but it was a boat recipe.result. Which happened to be null. So now we're gonna implement this. And so we wanna do something interesting here. Ingredients is an IEnumerable. We can't just set this thing to be that IEnumerable. We kinda need to make a copy of it. So I'm gonna have a private field up here. And internally, for now, I'm internally gonna represent this as a list of item. I'm gonna underscore ingredients like this. I'm gonna put read only on it because that's just good practice. If you make something read only, you should. All right, we're gonna do ingredients is equal to ingredients dot to list, and this actually will make a copy. So using system dot link, this will actually make a copy of that. And this might be overkill, but I like to baby-proof things. So I'm a baby. As a programmer, I want to manage the complexity until I discover that this is some sort of horrible performance issue at runtime. I'm okay with this making a whole copy. It has to iterate through this whole list. I'm okay with that for now. If I discover later that it's a huge performance issue, I could refactor it, and then I luckily have a test that will tell me whether or not if my assumptions are still the same. Similar down here, I can take this field that I've set, and once again, it turns out a list is an IEnumerable, and I can just say to list. Okay, and this will return a brand new copy of this, and so every time we call ingredients, it actually returns a new IEnumerable. This might not be the most efficient way to do it, but I like this. I like this a lot. Another option would be to like explicitly loop over this. So we could do this actually. Here's another option. We could do the following. So get, let's say we wanted to do this in a lazy way. We do for each item ingredient in ingredients. I really like this. Yield return ingredient. So now when we loop over this, we get a copy of each item inside of it. But if we don't iterate through the whole list, we don't have to iterate through it. When we turn it to a list, we actually we iterate through the whole thing. Alexina says, too bad my devs didn't pick these things up in class. Ollie is fine for sure. Gotcha, I'll call you Ollie. Thank you for correcting me. Apollo, welcome back, my friend. Apollo, happy Monday. I'm doing fabulously well. How are you? Ollie, thank you for the follow. Ollie, welcome to Captain's Crew. I said, Ollie, how are you? Boom, boom, boom. Ollie, thank you so much for the follow, my friend. Happy Monday. Welcome to the crew. So happy to have you here in Captain Coder's Academy. Thank you for all of your questions, all of your comments. I'm loving it. Very, very much. So we've got this yielding return here. Ollie says, inquiring minds want to know, are you this enthusiastic in class? Yes, much to my students' dismay sometimes. I'm this, yes. Polytrace, my teacher is way too smart for us. Got to learn this all a different way. Gotcha. Apollo, I'm fine, thanks. What are you doing today? We are starting a new project, so this is day one of a crafting system we're implementing. I do need to take a break here, folks. I want to finish this up real quick, though. So the one thing I want to do on this is we're going to make this into an auto property. We're going to make this into an auto property. I'm going to maintain, I want to maintain that item and category happen to be going to be immutable data types. All right. So when we do a get here, I can actually use the auto property here. So category is equal to type, and I should probably rename this variable. Bad name, category, like this, and it's getting covered by the screen there. Elite says this, so the namespace at the top doesn't have mono behavior list. So yeah, on my class, these are not mono behaviors. This is actually kind of an independent of Unity implementation because it doesn't need to be a mono behavior. I want to be able to think about this and reason about this outside of the Unity framework. Good question. But yeah, we're implementing a crafting system. That's the next part of my goal. We talked a little about the scope earlier. I'll share that when we get back from our break. I'll share it. But these properties, I'm just going to say, well, this one, the recipe and item are going to be immutable types. That's the goal here. Elite Summer says, so is it part of using namespace then? Yeah, I don't have to bring in, because I'm not using it. So if I wanted to, I'd have to do using Unity Engine. So mono behavior happens to be there. Apollo, great question. What happens to the crafting system? Great question. I'm gonna have to put you on a to be continued though, because we're going overtime here. We just reached a little bit beyond 90 minutes since our last break, and I gotta that blood run. Let's run this test though. And now all of my assumptions pass this test. This doesn't mean my code is 100% perfect. Doesn't mean that my code is 100% correct. It means that the assumptions I made are passing. If my assumptions are wrong, then this test is useless. But now, if we have to refactor this, and we're gonna refactor this, I have a test to tell me whether or not I've broken it. All right, folks. Thank you so much for your patience. Thanks so much. We're gonna take a quick break here. Captain Coder is out of coffee. Captain Coder is almost out of water. Let me finish this water. Captain Coder actually hasn't been drinking enough water at all. I'm gonna go chug a little bit of water. I'm gonna brew myself some hot tea. I'm gonna brew myself some hot water and steep some tea. When we get back, I'm gonna answer your question, Apollo. What happens in crafting system? I'm gonna answer that question, but we're also gonna do some stretching. When I get back, we're gonna do some stretching. That's right, break, semicolon. In that switch, we're gonna break. Exactly. When we get back, we're gonna do some stretching. So get your mom, get your dad, get your roommate, get your dog, get your cousin, get your uncle, get them in the room. We're gonna stretch all together. We gotta take care of our bodies. But the captain shall return momentarily. All right, folks. So sorry to keep you hanging there. I hope your hands don't hurt. I hope those fingers don't hurt from hanging on too long. I did my best to get back. I boiled myself some water. I got myself an Earl Grey. Some Earl Grey tea. Tea is steeping right here. Some delicious Earl Grey. It's not the best, highest quality Earl Grey, but it's Earl Grey in a tea bag. Not loose tea in a tea. Sometimes I do loose tea in a tea steeper. But we're back, folks. Elite Stomper. I was checking that out. This looks beautiful, folks. Check out this Elite Stomper. I was checking it out on my phone. Look at this. These 3 Elite Stomper. Are these in Blender? Look at those. These look awesome. I wish what's on my ever-growing list of things that I want to be able to do this summer. I'm hoping to do some Blender stuff. But yeah, folks, did you know? Attention. We're gonna do some stretches here, but before we do, did you guys know that Moon is here? Moon is here, taught me everything I know. And you gotta, Moon is also a streamer. Look at that. See the little happy cloud on the screen there? That little happy cloud, that's Moon is happy cloud. I gotta get rid of that background there at some point. The little happy cloud there. Moon is an incredible streamer. It's currently Did you know this stream was brought to you by the letter M today? M is for Moon is. Incredible streamer. He's currently working on a Metroidvania game. You gotta go check it out. You gotta check out his stream. Give him some love real quick. Attention all lurkers. Please direct your attention to the chat. Just for a moment, please. Shout out. We're gonna shout out here to Moonness, the one, the only Moonness. See that little heart button? You gotta click that heart. Give him some love. Give him some follow. He streams during my lunch break, which is kind of cool. It just so happens to work out. I can see Moonness is. That's hard to say. Moonness is stream, and it's some good stuff. I've learned a lot by watching Moonness. Moonness has been here teaching me all kinds of stuff. I've only been using Unity for 2 months-ish. All right, but everybody, all right, I've rambled on long enough. Everybody up. We're gonna do some stretchage. If you love, Captain Coder loves you. Hey, you in the back. Captain Coder loves you. Hey.
You in the back. Pay attention.
Captain Coder loves you. You should love you, and you love yourself. If you love your body, get on up. We're gonna do some stretches. If you're like me, you're hunched over. You're a programming troll. You're a computer troll. You're a video game troll. Whatever you have, whatever type of troll you have, it's okay to be a troll. Just make sure you don't troll too hard. It's okay if you're a troll. You gotta stop every now and then, take care of your body. So everyone get on up. We're gonna do some stretches. We're gonna get that blood flowing. I'm gonna pull your shirt down if you don't want to expose that belly button to everybody. I don't want to expose my belly button to you guys, so I'm gonna pull my shirt down a little bit. All right, we're gonna get our blood flowing, folks. We're gonna get our blood flowing here. Let me get my chat a little bit bigger so I can see it while I'm doing my stretchage. All right, but we're gonna do some blood flow. Arms up at the side like this. We're just gonna rotate back and forth, nice and gentle. You don't want to hurt yourself. As you come, it'll slow down as you get here, and then just push yourself a little bit. If it hurts, you're going too far. We just want to get that blood flowing. Elite Stomper, blood flow is overrated. I don't need no blood flow. I don't need to flow no blood. Come on, folks. Come on, folks. Elite Stomper, I'm begging you. I'm pleading with you. Get on up. Get on up and do some stretches with the captain and the crew. Get on up, Elite Stomper. I know that you can do it with us. Alright, just get that nice and low. Alright, now, we're going to bring our arms up, and as we come across, you're just going to lean into it. It's going to stretch all the way down that side. All the way down that side. Elite Stompers, I'm too old, buddy. Son. You're never too old to take care of your body. Oh no, I'm exposing my lower body to you guys. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Gotta pull that shirt down. Oh, just lean into it. Let me get close to the camera, and then my shirt won't be coming down as much. Oh, just lean into it. Oh, I'm going a little too fast. Just slow down. Lean into it and stretch. Lean into it and stretch. All right, so now we're going to do cross. Go from the top, down, lean into it, and you come up, and you go down. We're going to do 5 more of these. Up, and down, and down, up. I already lost count. I think this is 3. This one will be 4. And 5. All right, folks. All right, folks. I hope that helped you out there. All right. Now we're gonna do a little calf stretch. I know you can't see it, but I got my heel planted in the ground here. I got my toes pointed up as far as I can. I'm just gonna lean down. Don't lock that. Don't lock the knee, because you don't want to stop the blood flow. Really, sometimes I actually did my morning workout and 5-mile walk this morning. Oh, that's awesome. See, not all of us. Look, Elite Stompers, some of us don't take care of ourselves as well as you do. And if you love your body, like Elite Stomper does, you'd be joining us in these stretches. Get some stretchage. Elite Stomper, that's how he gets all his elite stomping. Oh, no, I said he, so I apologize if I assumed your pronoun there. I apologize. Elite Stomper. All right, and slowly bring it up. We're gonna switch sides here. Just plant that heel and get that toe up, and then slowly. Oh, that stretch feels so good. Oh yeah, that's some good stretchage. Does it feel good for you? We're gonna hold this for 15 more seconds, folks. Does that stretch feel as good for you as it does for me? Because oh boy, does that stretch feel good. Oh yeah. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's a good stretch. All right, and slowly. Bring it on back up. Thank you so much for joining me in those. We are going to hop back in here. Let's zoom in. Zoom in so you don't have to see, let's just zoom. Oh, a little too far back. And then a little bit, too much. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. All right, folks, thank you so much for joining me in that stretchage. I know you did it. I know you were out there stretching, getting that blood flowing. And for joining me, all of you are going to get 50 points, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me in that. Thank you for taking care of yourself. Captain loved you. You should love you. And let's get back to it. We got another... I can't go that much longer, actually. I got to do a little bit of preppage before my class. I have to get to work. And so we're going to go for maybe 20-ish more minutes. I just want to wrap up with the final thoughts here. Some final thoughts. So we did manage to get this here. Oh, got to close you. I'll close you. All right, so we set up our Unity project and our assemblies. Excellent. So we got that working. For being here. Oh, this is awesome. It's been a while since the captain crossed things off the list. I got 2 things done today. It's been a while since I managed to get that much done. All right. Elite Storm says, I like your card game collections. Ooh, me too. You got me some Yu-Gi-Oh back there. Got me some Magic the Gathering. It's good stuff. I'm a big board gamer. Big board gamer. But for being here to witness this momentous occasion for setting up this project, everybody, I'm gonna, thank you for being here to witness this. It's a beautiful moment. 50 points to all of you for seeing that. So, what are we gonna do in the last couple minutes here? Let me think. We did have a question about exceptions a little bit. So let's talk a little bit about exceptions here. Daryl says, one day I'll redeem to talk about Dragon Strike. Ooh, you might have noticed. We've got the ever... real quick. We're not gonna talk about it. We're not gonna talk. I'm gonna give you a little bit. We got a frog up here on top of it. We got a bag of knives. What else is on here? Oh, we got a fancy pen. But Dragon Strike. It's one of my core memories. Dragon Strike. Check this box. Check out this box. Dragon Strike. It says right here, before there was CGI, there was hyper reality, folks. Before there was CGI, there was hyper reality. And so maybe someday we'll get to see some hyper reality. Not today, but maybe one of these days. Elite Star says, do you 3D print, Captain? I do not have a 3D printer. I've always thought it'd be really, really cool to have a 3D printer. The school that I worked at before the school I'm at now actually had like a maker space with 3D printers. And I had a student do a project where he like 3D printed a whole arcade, not a whole arcade cabinet, but like the controls for an arcade cabinet. We like built a little arcade using a Raspberry Pi. That was super fun. But yeah, for those of you who don't know, you're collecting points, my friends. You're collecting points. Yeah, they're great for minis, for sure. Collecting points, and one of the things you can redeem, if you are brave, are you feeling brave? If you're brave enough, if you save up 3,000 points, I might just show off a board game. You can redeem this, and we can show off a little board game for you. Assuming there's time and what's not. But yeah, it's been good. Yeah, I really like minis. Do I have any of my painted miniatures in here? Oh yeah, check this out. Now I'm getting excited. All right. Here's my I like Dungeon Master. Here's my box. This here is a miniature travel case. Notice I have it labeled up so that I don't open it upside down. This is our miniature box travel case here. Come on. Probably shouldn't open this while standing. Hang on, give me. Inside of this. Here, let's showcase this a little bit. Let's bring up that document here. Okay, we need a stream where we play D&D. I think that'd be cool. That'd be super fun. Oh, I'm not on the right screen here. Doc cam. Here we go. So here's some of the miniatures that come in here. These are mostly unpainted, but I have done some paintage. So I do like painting miniatures. Check out that. I got this nice little pewter guy, nice and in focus, right? All right. This is one of my favorite. This rat, one of my favorites here. But I do like painting me some miniatures. Very, very cool. Getting a little bit off topic here, but that's because we kind of we're wrapping up. I don't know if you can see those all that good, but yeah, I think that stream. Oh, yeah, nerd, absolutely. Hellraiser, codetize me, Captain. Codetize. All right, we'll get back to the code. Look, if you guys want to go more in depth on this stuff, it's gonna cost you. 3,000 points, my friends. If you want to go more in depth, 3,000 points, and we'll do it. Maybe one of these days we'll do it. Maybe not today, because we don't have that much time left. All right, so let us Dramulk 17. Oh yeah, Cap, I've got 17,000 points. I'm gonna crush you all. I'll crush you all with my rank 5 here. Okay, so what did we do today? Oh, I was gonna talk a little bit about exceptional cases. So I think that who was it? Was it Polly? I think Polytrave, I think is what it was. Polytrave was asking about exceptions. So I talked about classes. We often will use exceptions to enforce that we don't do dumb things. Again, baby proof. Enforce that we don't do dumb things. So there's nothing preventing us from creating a shapeless recipe that has a null here. One of the things I'd like to enforce is, well, a recipe, you need at least one thing, right? We need at least one thing in a recipe. You can't just make something from nothing. This isn't alchemy. You can't make something from nothing. We gotta adhere to the laws of, the natural sciences. So something we could do here is say, well, if ingredients.count is less than 1, throw new system dot argument exception. I don't need the system here. I don't need no system here. Oh, maybe I do. I need to do using system. Throw in an illegal new argument exception. Let's say the argument's not valid. We're going to say ingredient list must be ingredient must have at least 1 ingredient. But received, and you might say, but received something. So we have an exception. This is called an exceptional case. Ingredients.count. This should be parentheses here. We're saying that shapeless recipe, there's not enough metadata, not enough information in just the type to enforce this. So we're going to add in an exception here that specifically says, hey, we also, we're not going to allow you. We're not going to allow you to create this. And in fact, the program's going to crash if we try and create one without it. And so maybe we don't want the program to crash. Maybe this is just something we want to log. And so we can use the diagnostic. So this is going to have a check. Every time we create something, it's going to have a check. But we could also instead, so one option would be to throw an exception. This says just like this is an exceptional state. This state should never happen. Silas followed me. Silas, welcome to the crew, my friend. Silas, welcome. Silas, welcome to the crew. Silas, I said, Silas, I want to welcome you to the crew. Silas, my friend, happy Monday. Welcome to the Captain Coders Academy. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. I appreciate you for being here. If you have any questions, programming or otherwise, Captain Coder, that's me. I'm a computer science educator, computer science teacher. I teach programming, computer science, and other topics at the school I work at, ages 10 to 14, but I also do some individual and group tutoring. So do not hesitate to ask a question. And as you may or may not be aware, backseat coding is totally welcome here. That's how we grow and become better. In fact, we had a question, what are exceptions? How do exceptions work? Why should I use exceptions? And so that's what we're talking about now. So our shapeless recipe, we're saying, well, we should never, this is going to force it so that we never get a recipe, a shapeless recipe that has an ingredient list that has nothing in it. We're going to always have it. So there we go, like this. All right. We also probably always want to have a result. So we could also say, well, if result is null. So if it's equal to null, we might throw a new, null reference exception? No, null argument, null exception. We're going to say that we're not allowed to have a null result. Shapeless recipe may not have a null result. So this is going to enforce, and this is telling me that I should do this differently. It's going to say use throw. Use the throw expression. I hate this though. I like this better up here. Someone gives us a null item as a result, we're going to fail right away and just say like, hey, no thanks. Shapeless recipe may not have a null result. So this is sort of, how you use exceptions. You have an exceptional case. We say, well, shapeless recipe has to have these things. And if we don't, we just don't construct it. We don't allow that to exist. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for your question there. I'm happy to go over that. I'm happy to be able to explain that. And you could write a unit test for that as well. Let's double check here. Make sure, see, I just did some refactoring. Let's run this. See if our tests still pass. Boom, it does. I don't have to run anything, run a file, check it by using my eyeballs. No, I just check my assumptions, check my assertions once again. All right, folks, let's get this committed. Real quick. All right, feet. Oh, Unicoder has such a good thing. Unicoder, you just got me. You got me. I totally messed up. Unicoder says deconstructing items would be just new recipe, same system, boat goes to 3 woods. You're right. This shouldn't be an I item here. This should actually be an I enumerable item. So we actually have multiple items that come back. So let's refactor this. Let's refactor private read-only list item results. Okay, and I'm actually going to do results here is equal to result.toList. So we're going to make a copy of that. Our result, rather than being null, we're going to say our result has to not count. It's less than 1. Unity Coder, thank you so much for catching my mistake here. When we were defining the scope of this was part of that scope. Must have at least one result. Result item, like this. Then down here, we can sort of do the same thing. So this isn't going to return an I item. This is going to return an I enumerable of I item. I'm going to put this just above here like this. And it's going to look almost identical to this. Almost identical. Maybe there's something that already does this as an I enumerable. I enumerable result. This isn't going to loop over our ingredients. It's going to loop over our results. This is such a great idea. Results. Okay. So I made some changes. This is what we call an interface changing change. An interface changing change. And that's actually going to make it so that our unit test needs to be written. And so what was sad here is, well, we thought about the interface, we didn't quite have it right. And then Unity Coder came along and said, hey, by the way, did you actually want it to look like this? And the answer is yes, I did. So Unity Coder, for your contributions to society, my friend. For your contribution, 50 points to you. Great, great contribution. And so this here is going to be a list. Instead of being just a boat, we only wanted to have one here. But we can actually make this a new list of item. And say, well, this has just one boat in it. Cheap Grams, good morning. Happy Monday to you. Welcome back once again to the crew. Cheap Grams, happy Monday. So nice to see you. So nice to see you, my friend. Elite Sound says, my brain is sending an error and ears are smoking. Thanks, Captain and Unicoder. You're welcome. You're welcome. So this shouldn't test whether or not the result is equal. What we really care about is, does it contain? So in this case, check true. Boat recipe.result.contains a boat. Right. Sounded like the theme to Tell Me More, Tell Me More. Interesting. Interesting. Well, you know what? You know what? I've never heard that song, but tell me more, tell me more. I need to know what you talk about. All right, and our test now passes here. All right, so we can do it this way. All right, so Unity Coder, if we wanted to create a deconstructed version of this, we have a little bit of time. We have 3 minutes. We got 3 minutes. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to write test constructor. We're going to call this test constructor with boat recipe. How about that? Test constructor with boat recipe. And then I'm going to make another one. We're going to write another test. It's going to be test constructor with boat deconstruct recipe. All right, so in this case, the ingredients, so we're gonna say boat deconstruct ingredients. In this case, all we need is a boat. All right, so we need a boat. And the category, well, maybe we leave it in woodwork, but maybe we have a different category for it. Maybe this one happens to be like a deconstruct category. Salvage. This will be a salvage category. So if you have like some sort of device that lets you salvage things. So we're gonna say salvage. All right, so this one we can salvage stuff from. So we have and this is gonna be boat salvage recipe. So I'm boat salvage ingredients. So taking a boat salvage, and it's gonna return a wood and a wood and a wood. We lose the rope. Or maybe we just return a wood and wood. But we lose the rope. That's what I'm gonna say is when we salvage the boat, we lose the rope. You had to cut the rope. The rope gets discarded. You can no longer use the rope. So we have our wood here. All right. So then our salvage recipe, we're gonna, rather than saying does the recipe result contain wood, we're gonna say does it contain wood. Now we're gonna do something down here like this. Instead, we're gonna check that the boat salvage recipe dot ingredients dot contains our boat, and we're also going to assert r equal that we have one ingredient, so boat salvage recipe dot ingredients dot count is 1, that it's in our salvage category, and then we're going to rename this test results. We're going to say that is it equal to 3. All right, and then we're gonna pull wood out of it. All right, we're gonna be able to test it twice. So now we have 2 tests, and we lose the rope here, so we don't need the rope in this to test. So if we pass a boat in, so we have a recipe, that's our boat, and it's gonna be in the salvage category. Let's see if this test works. Let's see if this works the way we expect it to work, Unity Coder. Good. Thank you so much for prompting this. This was interesting. You caught a little bug of mine here. A little logical bug. Ooh, deconstruct recipe didn't work. Expected 3, but was 1. Expected 3, that was 1. Let's see. Did we write a bad test or do we have a bad implementation? Let's go to the error line here. Ingredients. So our ingredients should be 1. No. So I want this to be our result. So we wrote a bad test. Our result has 3, and then we want to loop through results like this. All right. Let's see. Do we have a better test? Does we or does we not? Do we or does? We got an error though. Resulty. That fat index finger typed that Y for us. Elite Stompers, I messed up the test. Sorry, y'all. That's okay, Elite Stomper. We can fix it. We don't have, sometime, boom, there we go. A boom, baby. Whoa, we got that. Can I get a whoa?
Whoa.
All right, folks, we got our test passing. Here. Now we can do a commit. So we're gonna commit our changes to our repository here. Do we have all? Let's add them in here. So this was sort of a chore. Set up a Unity project. Add test assembly. Add crafting system assembly. So we added 2 assemblies, wire assemblies together. And then we set it up so they work together, and then we wrote simple shapeless recipe constructor and test. All right, we're gonna commit. We're gonna push that up to the GitHub. So now it's up on GitHub for us, so we can, anyone who wants to find that code, you can find it. If you want to see this code, it is up there. Captain Coder repository here. Which repository? This is our crafting system. We got it. We just pushed it up. If you want to go check out the code, if you want to check out this project, if you want to explore this with me, feel free to do so. Go ahead, you can clone this project. You can click download zip. You don't have to clone it. If you clone it, though, if you have the GitHub installed, if you're using the repository stuff, you'll be able to track it with me. As I make changes, do a git pull and have it there on your system with you. All right, folks, this has been so wonderful. We will be back tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat place. So, Cap, are you making your core modular? Oh, code. Make my code modular. I'm trying to. So what are my goals? In April, in a time known as April, 1st through 8th is the Dungeon Crawler Jam 2023. So in a month, 2 days, 18 hours, and 16 minutes. Maybe not exactly those minutes and hours. I intend to participate in this Dungeon Crawler Jam. And so we are building out some tools to go with it. Someone on the Discord. So if you're not on the Discord, folks, you're welcome to join. No pressure. You don't have to join if you don't want to. But we have a nice little community going here. And someone suggested, hey, Cap, hey Cap, can you show me, can you show me how to make a crafting system? And I was like, yeah, you know what? I really like this idea. I really, really like this idea. And so that's why we're doing it. But also it sort of fit in with what we were doing as far as prepping for this dungeon crawler game jam. So last 2 weeks before this, we did a dungeon generator. So this is what we were working on last time. And the dungeon generator takes these ASCII files like this. And it procedurally generates dungeons that look like this. And then we click a button. We wrote a little thing that can take an ASCII file and put it into a little dungeon in Unity. And then we can walk around in that dungeon. We can look at us go. Look at us go. It's like we're really there. Look at us. We're there. So I built this in the last 2 weeks. The crafting system, hopefully if I make it modular enough, if I do it well, we can take this and we can put it into our game, our dungeon crawler as well. Make a little library, drag it on in there. But April, we're gonna be working on that, folks. All right, that said, I'm out of time. I gotta get ready for work. I got work in 1 hour. I gotta get myself prepped up for that. Thank you so much for the question, folks. You made it to the end. We didn't make any profit, but that's okay. That's okay. We will be back tomorrow, same time, 7 a.m. Eastern. 7 a.m. Eastern to 10 a.m. Eastern almost every day, unless something comes up. But we'll be back tomorrow, my friends. Thank you so much for hanging out, for making it with me to the end here. Making it with me to the end. We give you all 50 points. Thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate it. We're going to find someone to raid. Let's see who's on. Let's see who we got. Draco the Boozler. Clayman Dev. Ryazy. We got so many good people. Ooh, Ryazy is doing the Ludwig game jam. Our raid's not working? Yeah. So go ahead, Draco the Boozler. Give Draco a follow there. Friend of the channel, but we're gonna go check out Ryazy doing Ludwig jam. Stream ends itself. Yeah. Oh, that's what happened. I dropped some frames. Oh, I was so confused as what was going on. All right, folks, we're gonna go raid Ryazy. Ryazy's super fun channel over there. I'm so sorry, but let's go ahead and drop in on Ryazy. As always, folks, keep on coding, keep on growing, be the best you can be. As always, have yourself a beautiful day, and you are welcome back anytime, folks. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I appreciate you. We'll see you tomorrow.